What's going on, YouTube? This is your host, Mr. Micro Mike. Today we have a special roundtable for you folks to end the era of Google Hangouts. Folks, people are going to be streaming in and out throughout the show today. I've invited all of the greats of the YouTube Lions community. So throughout this show, you're going to see folks coming in and out that are great when it comes to Lions news. First off, we have the man who can strangle you with the cordless phone. What up, Joe 313 JMO?
What's up? What's good?
Hey, I'm just happy that you're that multitaskable. Next, we have a man who can hear sign language. What up, though, Luke G?
What up, though, everybody? Mike is crazy. What
he
up,
said strangle
everybody?
you with a cordless phone.
With
I'm
the
still
cordless
on that, bro.
phone,
Like,
with the cordless. Oh my god, he said, what we talking to? What was sign language? Hold on.
folks, and it is a honor to introduce you the last member of the round table. He can hear faster than the speed of sound. What up, though, Joseph Dion?
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
wow, Mike.
Folks, JMO, can you go ahead and do roll call for us, man? And give a shout out to everybody in the chat.
All right, let's see who's in the chat, man. What's up, everybody? We got Max Palmer. We got George Morgan in the building. What up, though? We got Ramon, the New Age. What's good, man? We got Vash Starwind. We got James Willis. We got Blue and Silver Phantom. We got Devin 99. What's good? Chris Cashball. What's good? What's up, everybody? General G. Berry. What's up, man? Jane Tansky. What's up? Make sure you guys like the video. We got a dislike already. I don't know who's hating that hard on us, but it's all good. We love it. We love it. We embrace it. We embrace it.
Absolutely, man. Hey, DSA to the top, and that's just the way it is. Again, if you weren't here for the initial talking, we're going to have the YouTubers of the Detroit Lions community coming in and out. Your favorites, hopefully, will all be on, and it's going to be a great show. But let's go ahead and get into the questions. So, thoughts on training camp, JMO. What strikes you when it comes to the news about this year's camp?
What strikes me when it comes to news is the GOAT TJ Hockenson. I told you. That's my new nickname for him, the GOAT TJ Hockenson. Man, I'm actually surprised at how well he's doing because he's being guarded by the starters and his chemistry with Matthew Stafford is good. You know, with Eric, Ebron, who's still dropping passes in the camp, doesn't understand is all you gotta do is like run a route and like get open. It's not that hard, but you could never do it. And TJ Hockenson is like, this is very simple. He ain't dropped a pass yet in camp at all. And all he does is get touchdowns. So it lets me know in the red zone, we're gonna have a lot more touchdowns with TJ Hockenson down there.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting to see it. Dion, what's your thoughts on camp and what are you coming through when you see what's going on? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, I'm so excited
Good
so
one.
far watching camp. I'm like looking for that cornerback group for sure. I think
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Luke G.
He seems like that.
It's like he's breaking up. Is it just me?
Okay, so folks,
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
We have Robo Dion going on right now, so I'm gonna just go ahead and throw it to Luke G. Tell me your thoughts on camp, man.
I don't really get too high on camp. I don't get too low, but I don't get too high on camp. I feel like camp to me is where you can try to see who's getting all the love and all the hype and who's not. So there are certain names I expect to hear. I expect to hear TJ Hockenson is doing well. And that's what I hear. But I also expect to hear things about Rashawn Melvin. And I haven't heard anything. I expect to hear things about Jermaine Kearse. And I haven't heard anything. I'm hearing all these other names of people I never even heard of, but I haven't heard about those people I'm expecting to hear things from. So for me, the news of the scars that we're getting, that's one thing. But the biggest part is I'm really focused on who they're talking about versus who they're not talking about. That's the biggest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Folks, we have a newcomer who just joined up right now, and I've got to do an introduction for the young man. This man is the next gent that can divide by zero. What up, though, CA3?
What up, man?
What's good? That's the E3 Sports Talk in the building.
I'm not gonna be here for a second though, because the signal's so bad. I had to go by a certain place just to talk. So
Okay.
I hear
Okay.
that. I hear that, man. You know,
Any thoughts on training camp, CA?
well, like I was just talking to my grandfather today. We were reading a newspaper about training camp. One thing that caught me that I was kind of concerned about was that Kenny Wiggins is favored to get that left guard spot.
I mean, that's rough. That could be
That
definitely
is rough, bro.
That's rough. That could be like that one small detail can be enough to make anybody nervous, man. Like just that one detail. So, you know, you really hope that somebody emerge as the guy to take that position. Because Kenny Wiggins, to me, man, it's rough.
I'm highly confused as to what's going on. You cannot tell me that this guy is somehow one of these Patriots level offensive linemen, meaning some nobody who's supposed to be trash that's good. You can't tell me this. I refuse to believe it. They need to do something, man. I need to see some Joe Dahl. I need to see some Ode Ibushi. I need to see some Tyrell Crosby. I need to see anything.
Look.
But Kenny Wiggins.
Look. When I think of the offensive line and what's taking place right now, I think it's simply veteran gets the start over the individuals. If you look at the beginning, day one, they had Wiggins. The second day, I believe Wiggins. Yesterday, they had Ibushi starting there. So they're throwing people in and out of the lineup.
Come on,
I think it's more of a competition right now due to, again, it's the start of camp. Obviously, when it comes to veteran status, veterans always get the edge when you start camp. But then you notice throughout camp, when it gets later, you'll start seeing rookies get in there. You'll start seeing other individuals thrown into there and see how they can handle the fire. Now, in my opinion, if they fail, I think just like JMO said last week, that I believe that they would make a trade or pick up an individual who gets dropped off from the 53 like a Mike Daniels did when he got let go. So I think it's nothing to worry about time now. Dion, are you there or is this Robo Dion? What's going on, man?
You tell me. How do I?
You sound great, man. Dion, tell them about the training camp.
Oh, all right.
It's breaking up again, man. That's Dion. Yeah. I think what you can do is if you can move a little bit closer to your Wi-Fi, that should fix it.
Just get a little bit closer.
Oh yeah, I wanted to read this one.
Wait, really quick. Just so y'all know, man, Noble Sports Entertainment couldn't be on tonight, but he is still here with us in spirit. He's more than likely listening in, so we want to shout him out. We also want to shout out all the people who would have been on, but obviously couldn't make it. This is more about the being able to show the community for Detroit Sports Talk. And in doing so,
I've been here like he's the leader.
And in doing so, it's about giving every person a chance to have a voice. Now, the whole Google Hangouts and all this stuff, it really started with Detroit versus everybody, aka DVE. They started this. You know what I mean? We came in later afterwards and just did it too. So shout out to DVE. And then you have people like Everything King, Dosa Dion,
Outsiders as well.
The Outsiders, Man Beast Morris, Hitman House, Mondo. I mean, it's so many people who was just wanting to talk about our team because we wasn't getting that representation in the media. So go tell a friend to tell a friend that we got one person who already mad and we've been on all the bit of 10 minutes. Because we want these likes to hit past 90%. So we got 41 in the chat right now. Go tell a friend to tell a friend to come in and rock with us. Now, General G. Berry said, where is your intro, Micro Mike?
My intro is the man is here. I don't have an intro for myself, folks. I am just an average guy who makes sure I shout everybody else out because they are the true champions of the round table. I am just a man who hosts them.
Man, listen, real talk, man. Y'all don't even understand, man. Micro Mike is amazing, man. Like this dude, he's not only is he funny, he know his sports, and on top of knowing his sports, man, this dude is all about truth and honesty. So let me see if I can be clever enough. I got it. We have the guy who can pick up a whole crowd of women just by winking his closed eyes. No, that's not good enough. Let me think of something. Let me see. I'm trying to think now. I'm trying to think something. Let me see. The man who spit bars. Nah. I got nothing. I'm sorry, people. I got nothing. But the truth is, Micro Mike's a cool guy, and as that should be enough for you to know you should subscribe to his channel. Period.
Man.
Hey, so Dion, are you available yet?
All right, let me know. How do
Right now, we can hear you, man. Tell us about the training camp.
All right. Well, what I was trying to say was the cornerbacks for Sean Melvin. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I thought he was going to be the number 2 corner. I don't think Luke was in love with Rashawn Melvin.
No.
Being the number 2.
No.
That's what I thought. So that was my thoughts. I was kind of happy to see Rashawn Melvin winning that. I knew Luke wouldn't be, but
You know what? It wasn't that I don't like Rashawn Melvin. That wasn't it.
Mm-hmm.
It was that I think that the contract that they provided him with left enough leeway that if he didn't earn it, oh well. And if he did, good. So I felt like what it boiled down to with Rashawn Melvin was, is he going to be better in man coverage? And if he is, cool. But if I see some of the stuff that I saw when he's on Oakland, I'm okay with it at this point because we got enough depth to say, you know what, you're not getting it done. We're going to change this up and put somebody else in. And that's where we should be when looking at this. So, but I still haven't heard anything about him in camp other than he did that interview on YouTube.
Wait, so Luke, do you like?
I mean, he did get an interception off of Stafford.
I'm sorry, I ain't hear you. Hold on, I ain't hear you, Dion. What you say?
My bad. I was just trying to know if you like that Justin Coleman contract then. If you like that more.
The Justin Coleman contract to me was baffling because if you're going to pay him that kind of money just to have him be in a slot, I was like, I don't see it. But for me, it's also a kind of an insurance policy so he can take over. So you're not asking him to come in immediately and jump into the number 2 spot. But no, I was not a fan of his contract, and I was not a fan of Trey Flowers' contract until I seen how they were structured. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. I think he only count for like $6 million or something like that against the cap this year for Trey Flowers. And Coleman, I think, is like even cheaper. They did some real magic with structuring their contracts. And that's what made me feel better about it. But before that, I wasn't feeling what I saw when I saw the numbers.
Okay.
Folks, I think I have my intro. I like what Boog Spray says. It says Micro can give a shout out without speaking. That seems to be about right.
Yeah, like that. Right. I like that, man.
Right, I like
What's
that.
good, Marcel Edwards? What's up, Book Spray?
Let me jump
What's
on
up,
that.
Marcus Willis was good.
That contract situation again. I think I've said it before, but I think the reason they paid so much money for the free agents that we got is not specifically the talent they do on the field, but more specifically as well is the talent they bring off the field when it comes to the championship mentality, when it comes to bringing that different dynamic and teaching the other players on the team how to win the big game. That is one thing that, for whatever reason, when it comes to the Lions, we've never had that culture change. I think the culture change is the number one killer when it comes to our team. I think that is the biggest adversity that we have. We have the talent. We have the coaching, in my opinion. We just need that extra boost that can take us to the next level to get that 4th down when you need it to, get that 1st down at the end of a fourth quarter with 2 minutes to go to end the game. That's what we need. And I think when it comes to Flowers and Coleman and James, that's what they bring, as well even as Mike Daniels as well. I mean, so in my opinion, that's kind of what we paid for. And we could say that they overpaid, but in my opinion, they didn't. I don't think they overpaid because we do need that. We need that more than anything. Jamo, what do you think about that when it comes to the contract and what we paid for?
I mean, the way I'm of the mindset at this point where we don't have a lot of good players on the football team. So if we pay a high contract for a good player or a great player like Trey Flowers, I'm not gonna have that too much of a problem with it. And I'm not sold on Justin Coleman just being a slot corner. So I think someplace he will be switching over to number 2. It just depends on like how some of the matchups are. Because, you know, a lot of times we had Quandre Diggs in the box covering receivers like he was a cornerback. So, you know, now Justin Coleman will be able to do that. He might be able to follow some of the top receivers depending on the matchup. So I'm not sold on that, but I don't have a problem with that. Rashawn Melvin, I don't know about him. I hope that he is better, but I'm not gonna take Oakland against him because it's Oakland. Like, anybody can look bad in Oakland, just like anybody can look bad with Jeff Fisher. Anybody can look bad in Oakland. I'm just saying, it's Oakland. So, and you know, he wasn't in his right system, and we know how some players, well, all players to an extent are system players. So, I do expect him to thrive where he's at, you know, now with our defense. But we'll see how it goes. If Amani Warrior can get that spot, or Justin Coleman gets the number 1 spot, and Warrior gets the slot corner spot. So we'll see what happens with that.
Now, Micro Mike, I know I'm gonna botch his name, but I think it's pronounced Divine Winger Dan. He says Micro Mike is the only man to beat Chuck Norris in a bare knuckle boxing match. Oh my god!
I just beat Chuck Norris, man. That's God status right there.
He's the only one that ever do it. And you know, that's one of the classic fight scenes in all the movies. Bruce Lee versus Chuck, man. You say,
hey, man, first, huh? I could do it with both arms tied behind my back as well. So that just makes it God status even further.
James Willis says, heard anything about Will Harris? I haven't heard a thing about Will Harris. So
no, I haven't either, but I've been watching some of the little highlights they've been posting. And one of the things that I love is he's in position to make the play. But I'm telling you, every time I see those highlights, these guys are really killing this red zone. Like like a lot of these clicks are coming from the red zone.
Yeah, they low key embarrassing our defense a little bit.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
And like people out there wonder, like, this our secondary, these our linebackers. I'm like, yo, you can't take that like that serious, you know, our offense about to be potent, you know.
Right. Now, best
Trey Flowers and them not even on the field.
Best wine for last says Detroit Sports Alliance. Keep pushing, man. I love the content. Shout out to Luke GTA of Noble Sports Entertainment, 313 J Mo, Dose Dion 2.0, Micro Mike, CA3, Nomus, Detroit Drew, Straight Fire. So, hey,
shout out to you, Best Wine for last, man. Thanks for all the
He's
support,
been very supportive, man, and I appreciate it, man.
Hey.
First black man on the net says he dropped the INT, but at least he was there. True. Yeah, he was there.
Who did not drop an INT today? That was Tavai on Matthew Stafford. Woo! That boy is looking great in camp, folks. Man, yeah. And yes, I can do it. Leroy to try to criticize Jenkins.
He said, "Do you think Mike is ready for Leroy Jenkins?" And he went and did Leroy. Hey, I'm with you, man. Yeah, I did.
What up, Silent Fire 88?
I did, and I don't know if Dion, you seen where the Tavai interception on Stafford? I think he's still trying to get it together. Let me see.
Did you just ask me a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the Jahlani Tavai interception on Stafford?
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was nice. Tipped it to himself.
Man, and that thing came with some heat because you see he didn't catch it clean.
You know Stafford throwing hard.
Man, dude, that thing came from he like, I gotta get this one. That was my problem when I played linebacker. I could not catch that ball, man. Them quarterback, like high school quarterbacks, I was like, this is cupcake. I got the college, man. Some of them passes they was throwing, I was like, what are you on? Like, what kind of steroid antibiotic? Like what are y'all doing? Like, it was hard to catch it, man. So, no jokes, no, nothing about it. But it was impressive to see a linebacker have the awareness and the wherewithal to be in position to make that play, and that was good to see.
Dion, what is your thoughts on Tavai? Is he going to make a real big impact this year? Do you think he starts week 1? What do you think, man?
I think he starts week 1 for sure. I'm excited for Tavai because I think after the draft, people were happy for that pick, and I think he's been doing a lot of good things training camp. This is a really he fits that perfectly. I feel like the way he plays, his size. And then you see him making plays in training camp. I think he's one of our best. He could be one of our best linebackers on year 1, easy.
Yeah, man, I agree. And I'm going to defer again to J-Mo in this because he's the one. I'll never forget it, man. As soon as the draft happened, he goes, "That boy's 6'2". He's going to be a beast." When no one knew who this guy was, within 1 minute of drafting, 313 J-Mo, the great one, also my twin, has made that statement. And my twin J-Mo, the great one. Tell the folks about your guy Tavai, man. You've been spitting about this guy from the beginning. I have to defer to you. This is your guy.
Well, man, I know this is my guy, and I have been talking about how good he's gonna be. But I'm gonna just take the Matt Patricia route. We got to see him in a real game, but it's good to see him doing well in drills. He's been able to cover like I said he would, and I just knew one thing about the system he was drafted. I feel like to cover the tight ends. We really don't have anybody who can do that. I feel like we drafted him to do that with his big body and his big frame, and he can rush the passer. And the one thing I said about Jahlani Tavai, the thing that stood out to me was how smart he was. Regardless of whether he could make the play or not, or messed up on the play, he always knew what was going on, and it showed. And he's been playing well, man. I like Tavai. I think he's gonna definitely. I definitely think he'll start week 1 if he continues to play well, and when he gets his snaps in preseason, if he plays well in the dress rehearsal game, I think that he definitely would start. And I hope he does. I want to see him out there, man. And it's not like we have some amazing replacement instead of him, so it's good to see what it is, but. We got to see that in the regular season, man. I'm excited. Hopefully, Kyler Murray throws 7 picks and gets sacked 13 times because that's what it looks like it's going to happen.
Absolutely, man. And my twin, he speaks the truth about Tavai.
Detroit Drew is in the building.
Yeah, I know. About to say it right now. Folks, the next man is the guy who can find the end of a circle. What up, though, Detroit Drew?
I would have been happier if I could have heard sign language, but I'll do.
He's sick of the end of the circle.
Drew, tell us about Tavai, man. Do you think he starts week 1? What's your expectations of this young man?
Let's backpedal. When I first heard that we drafted this guy, I knew nothing about him, like most of us. And going back and watching some film on him, this guy's a smart player. He might not be the most athletically gifted or physically gifted, but this dude is smart. And I think that's what Patricia and Bob Quinn are looking to do, are not to just find players who are freaks athletically, but guys who know the game of football. That's what they're drawing into this culture, and it's what New England's done. This guy is absolutely 100% starting week 1.
Oh, he has to. He has to. I have a belief in my head that if I draft you in the first and second round, you have to start. You have to.
Hey, J-Mon, let me ask you a question real quick. If he does not start, does Matt Patricia get fired?
Well, I think basketball is a little bit of a different sport.
I just got to
like Matt Patricia. So it's not the same dynamic. But if he didn't start, I wouldn't say fire Matt Patricia, but I would be very upset with Matt Patricia.
Gotcha.
I think it's a sure thing.
He got championships. Dwayne Casey don't got none of that.
Yeah, we haven't heard from you in a minute. What do you think about Tavai? Do you think that he's going to start week 1? Do you think sky's the limit when it comes to his ability, and he can really be an impact player for us?
Yeah, I think Carl having some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Listen, technology will fail you every time you think you are set to go. It
Oh
will
man,
fail
we
you.
gonna have
And you
fun with
won't.
this, man.
Well, I'm gonna give my opinion while that stuff goes on, man. And when I think of Tavai, man, I didn't know nothing about him when he got drafted. I think the only one that really knew was my twin. But after looking into it, and his points that he made was he's 6'2", and we definitely needed to block that tight end. But what we're seeing and hearing from camp is so much more than what I expected. He's looking like he could be a absolute stud day one. And for getting a second round pick that's going to be a difference maker like that is insane drafting by Bob Quinn. Literally, only a handful of teams are going to draft this guy. We got made fun of. We got laughed out of the draft room when we picked this guy up. People dogged Quinn for this pick. And now look at him in camp. He's a stud. He's fast. He's getting to the ball. He's intercepting Matthew Stafford. And he's making an impact on defense. If this guy could step up the way that he's showing in camp, literally, I don't see how we don't have a top 5 defense in the NFL with all the additions of the defensive line. My God, if Tavai can live up to what he's doing right now in camp, folks, this offseason is just getting greater. I don't know how much more better it could possibly get. It's been such a great offseason.
It can get better. Once we get a guard, I'm starting talking Super Bowl. Watch.
Speak, J-Mo. Speak. Tell him.
Like, once we get that guard, and if we get it's gonna be a problem.
Did I just hear Carl?
Yeah. What up, Carl? What do you think about Jahlani Tavai?
What I was saying was, I think you have to start this guy week 1, especially since everybody, especially since we, I guess, quote unquote, took a chance on him. Well, like we drafted somebody like, I guess, out of the ordinary. I mean, so you got to start in week 1. I mean, if you draft somebody like that, like, and nobody expects you to draft the guy, like, he's really got to start, because you're taking a chance on him because you believe he's going to turn out to be, I mean, good. I mean, you think he has potential if you draft somebody like that like nobody knows about. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I'm a little afraid to talk about Jahlani Tavai because that's how I lost my channel for live for 90 days talking about Tavai. I mean, I'm a little nervous, man. I mean, I don't need, like, even saying his name make me just, make me clam up a little bit. But I'm gonna try my best to get through it. The truth is, he's going to start. He has to start. They're going to run a lot of multiple fronts and things like that, and part of it's going to be that 3-4.
Well, let me give you a follow-up. If he starts, how much of an impact do you think he's going to have?
Well, it depends on how they're going to use him, because now they have more options. When you bring in a guy like Mike Daniels, you already got a Snacks Harris, and then you add Trey Flowers. Plus, you still got Hand. You can play around with some stuff. He's going to be probably our blitzing linebacker. They're going to use him and Davis to do a lot of blitzing. Davis because he got the speed, but Jahlani because he knows how to take perfect angles and close it off. I just look at it and I say they need to make sure that he's given all the chance that he get. But I expect him to be one of the captains and leaders on this team by the end of the season, going into the next.
Yeah, man. I think he definitely, with the progress that he's making, he probably next year, I'm thinking he could be middle linebacker for sure. The way that he's progressing right now, if it continues. And again, when he was in Hawaii, that's what he was. He was a great captain. And having Davis and him on the field at the same time, with Davis in a better position to succeed. Good luck.
Yeah, I want to see. I can't believe I'm saying this about a linebacker of ours, and this is not like how good he's at least showing that he is currently. We'll see what happens in the regular season, but I want to see him in space because I think he can get some interceptions, and I think he can cover some of those guys. So that's what I want, because I want the turnovers, and I just want the threat of the turnover along with the blitzing and everything.
Now, this is a very interesting comment, in my opinion. Ed Whiten says, please no, don't start Tavai for the first 3 weeks. Talk to us, Ed. Tell us why you don't want to see him for the first 3, because that's an interesting take on it. I'm interested to hear your take on that. And Melvin Drew says, at Luke G, those joint practices going to tell a lot as well. That's what I'm waiting on. I mean, it's cool to do what you do against your comrades, but you also try to make sure that y'all don't have no scars. I want to see what you do when the opposition is opposite of you. Also, please make sure that you go out and you subscribe to Dose of Dion. You subscribe to CA3 Sports Talk, 313 JMO, Micro Mike. If you don't subscribe to Micro Mike, man, I don't know what you're doing, man. And make sure you hit up Luke G's Field Review as well as Global Sports Entertainment, No Miss J, Positively Detroit, and did I forget anybody? I don't think I did. Who did I forget on that? I said Detroit Drew.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear it.
Drew, I'm gonna need you to wake up, man. I'm gonna need you to wake up. Of course, I said you. You know, and you a comedian. How can I forget you? You liable to crack a joke on me. I ain't got time for that, man.
I might be out. I got a full tummy right now, so I might be out of it.
Oh, okay. You got the itis.
I'm in a food coma right now, bro.
Oh my God, what you eat?
Burgers.
Yeah, you probably in a food coma. I'm just saying. But listen, real talk, man. Y'all need to subscribe to these gentlemen because I'm telling you, and this is where you're going to get your football news from. Okay, I'm saying all kind of stuff out there right now that's not making no sense, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? You know, I mean, I think I saw like the other day a video of somebody being angry about the signing of Mike Daniels, and I was like, what? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's always that one, bro. Like every video I saw was positives, and it was that one, and it was
it was just one video that had this whole take like signing Mike Daniels was a bad move, and I was like, listen, if he don't pan out, those guys should get an award. But I don't see that happening at all. You know,
our defensive line is about to be so good. And this is the thing about guys like I don't know about Tavai, but at least TJ Hockenson. I can't wait for the joint practices either because you know when he cooks everybody there, then the hype is going to continue to build. When preseason start, it's going to continue. You know, regular season start. So.
Right, and that's how it should be.
Because I just think TJ Hockenson is special like that. And he just got that connection with Stafford. I'm telling you, I can see it. Over.
They definitely over there building up something. And I can tell you this much: if you go and look at all the highlights, now keep in mind, some of this is marketing, people. They're going to take all the best of the best. They're not going to take them making a lot of drop passes. But there was 2 plays that I saw that I was like, oh my God. And it was like he did this baseball slide catch. And I was like, did he just get low for the ball? Like it was at a point where only he could get it, and the guy would have had to hit him late for it to even be coming out. And that to me was letting me know that he's starting to understand how to move around in coverage. But again, it's our coverage. So he may be learning his coverage, but he's got to learn the Green Bay Packers because we played them twice. He's got to learn the Vikings because we played them twice. He's got to learn the Bears because we played them twice. And that's where it starts at for me. I think that TJ Hockenson along with Tavai are going to be 2 players that we look back on and say, yo, this is where things started changing for the Detroit Lions.
Folks,
and that's why you depend on Matt Patricia and Darrell Bevel for those things to help him smoother with the transition as a rookie.
Hey, Noble just came in the building, man. I got to do
What's
an intro
up, Noble?
for him.
What's up in the building? What's up, baby? The bully is in the building.
The bully.
Folks.
Yeah, I just came to say hi to my people, man. I had to come in here and say what's up to y'all.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Drew, stop being sarcastic, man.
I can't help it. It's in my DNA, bro.
Oh.
Wow. What's up, Noble?
Hey, what's up, J-Mo?
Y'all ready for this one? All right, here we go.
All right, make sure you guys like the video. Jay Third said, gentlemen, okay, I'm here. You have to start all over. No, you have to rewind. That's what you got to do. But we still here. What's up, everybody? What's up, Jay Third?
What's up, everybody? Got a hot 15 for you.
Introduce my boy Noble.
Top tier in the building. What's up?
Okay, here we go, man. The next commentator does not wear a watch. He decides what time it is. What up, though, Noble Sports?
What's crack-a-lacking?
Mike, do you got a book full of these things?
Crap,
Where do you get these from, bro?
clapping?
What's clap-a-lapping?
Wait a minute. Did he just say this man don't wear a watch because he decide what time it is?
Right. You know, that man that made time still.
TA, you gotta put that on the shirt, bro. I don't need no stinking watch. I'll let you know what time it is.
Hey, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Let's jump into the chat since you decided to come on right now.
Yeah, I got 15 seconds for y'all.
All right, give me 15 seconds, man. 15 seconds. Tavai, go.
Tavai, my man. Man, enough said. Tavai, his name. No, just joking.
Good
No, man,
conversation. Next.
Jahlani Tavai, man, is killing it right now at the training camp, man, and I'm loving it because he's the guy that a lot of people had the question mark on. Why did the Detroit Lions draft this linebacker? And pretty much, man, you're going to find out because this guy is going. Y'all going to have to put some respect on this guy's name in a minute. He's definitely good.
Dion, man, what do you think as well, man? Do you want to add on to anything that's been talked about?
I'm excited for Tavai.
Good. That's some good commentary right there.
Look, Dion, like my internet tripping. I'm trying to just get through it without the internet cheating me for once. I ain't mad at you, man.
Hey, well, let's jump into this because this is something that we're seeing so far a lot in camp, and that's injuries. Luke G, are you concerned about the injuries that's taking place?
Nope. No. And the reason I'm not is because for the first time that I can remember, we have depth.
Woo!
We have depth.
Yeah,
we are actually getting scars, and guess what? We got depth. Like if somebody's going down, I'm not panicked. The only place we don't have depth is at QB. But outside of that, we have depth.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, if Kenny Wiggins goes down,
that's a concern then, Luke. Hey, Luke, that's a concern then.
It's a concern, but if your starting QB go down, you should expect the Nick Foles because Nick Foles is once in a generation.
Yeah, right.
Go Foles.
And that's how it should be, So to me, no, with this kind of depth, nope. Because most of those little scars we getting, they're not nothing serious. Like if you go and look at some of these other teams, people tearing ACLs, MCLs, meniscus, shoulders ain't right. They got all kinds of problems. We ain't got that. Right. We ain't got that. So no, I'm perfectly fine right now where we at. You're gonna get people nicked and banged up. I mean, I get nicked and banged up playing 21 in street ball, so it happens.
Right, you might break a nail or something on the ball. You just never know.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, man. Go ahead,
he
CA.
might sprain the finger playing basketball too, just like I did recently.
Yeah, that's true.
Drew.
I think with the.
What do you think about Detroit Drew, man? What do you think about the injuries? And are you worried about it? Is it not a big deal? Okay,
It's a mixed bag. I'm happy for it. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm happy for it because I guess I shouldn't say I'm happy for the injuries, but it's kind of good news to see that it's Hockenson causing the injuries, blocking and stuff. So if he's doing that the regular season and stuff, we'll be happy with it. But Hand and Robinson both have injury issues in the past, so it's nothing really new to me.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't shock anybody. Like this is what training camp does. They're going to push their bodies to get it prepared for the guy that's going to be in front of them, who don't care if they get scars. You don't care. Now I'm gonna tell you what. The one person I don't want to hear about no scars with is Mike Daniels, because I promise you, I don't see too many videos of him walking out just for the first practice, and he came out like the world's greatest wrestler on WWE.
And he like, no, man, Mike Daniels knows good. He's like, I'm about to do some damage out here, bro. That's what he's thinking.
Right. I mean, he was walking out. He had the helmet on, the gloves on. He was walking out like he was ready to just stone cold, grab 2 beers and give you the stunner. He had.
I want all Lions fans to realize, if you've seen that video that we're referring to, when you leave Green Bay, and come to Detroit, that's how happy you get. Let's talk about it. Green Bay is such a dumpster fire right now, and they will continue to be.
Yep.
Mike Daniel Lee look like he went to the Patriots or something. Like,
yeah. He was kind of too happy because in that interview, fellas, he was kind of really, really happy to be with Detroit and Matt Patricia. I'm like, wow, he was really happy, man, to be over here.
He tried to kill his old team too.
They know how good these players know how good Matt Patricia is as a coach, man.
He's also trying to kill his whole team because he plays.
He trying to go on a revenge tour. I know what he's doing.
Yeah, listen, do anybody remember? Okay, I'm trying to think of the name of this movie. Do anybody remember this movie where the guy is at this long one-take fight scene? He fighting his way through all these people up some stairs and everything. And they did a parody on it on Robot Chicken. But in that movie, it was about just simply getting revenge. And I'm thinking to myself, if that's the kind of anger he's going to bring for this team, just for the Green Bay Packers, I'm cool with it. Because I'm telling you, he gave us some inside information that we're going to need.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what, man? When it comes to him joining the team, I don't mind about the revenge. I really want a really good reckoning to take place because then they could take out the Packers.
I'm sorry, people.
Devin 99 said he walked out like Mark Henry.
Man, bro, he did. I swear to God, he did, man. He was like literally in a different world, a different mindset. Even when
but no, I want to see him that motivated though.
Yeah, he was hyped, man. He was
because
hyped.
the Lions need that mean attitude type player on the defense. You know, we ain't really had it since Sue left. We need that type of person.
Absolutely, man. You need to have that mean streak that in you, that Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah, I'm telling you, teams is gonna have a nightmare. This defensive line is gonna keep quarterbacks up at night.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, and I like that, man. I want him to.
Chris Cadwell says, "Has anyone noticed how Stafford looking this year? The dude body fat is going. Yeah, and he running like a gazelle out there too. Like,
wow.
Bill Collier.
Yeah, Stafford looking real mobile. So offensive line protect him so he stays mobile and don't end up with a broken back."
Bill Collier says, "I think the Lions should do a revenge tour, kind of like how Michigan did it." It definitely. I think the reckoning.
We got to finish it better.
I was like, wait, what revenge tour did Michigan do? Like,
man,
the only people we couldn't get, man, was Ohio State.
We had a revenge tour in Ohio State.
Okay,
had all them receivers.
I mean, that's the only one that should have mattered. Okay,
I'm just saying. Dwayne Haskins is pretty good. So,
what up, though? Big take, Dion.
It was more like a revenge pit stop.
Right.
Oh God.
And then your coach talking about a coach that he can't beat, so it's all good.
What? Whatever, bro.
Hey, I listen. Usually, when you do a revenge tour, you're hoping that you got the revenge. You know,
Ohio State. Man,
everybody else got it though
for a long time, man.
Hey, there's nothing like striving to do the best due to revenge. It does help out sometimes. It's like having Nas, put in your
because the reason that Michigan couldn't complete their revenge is because of a quarterback, but we don't have that quarterback issue. So,
Dion, man, do you like the fact that Mike Daniels, he's joining because he wants to get it back at Green Bay? What do you think about that? Do you think it's good to have that on his shoulder and to sack Aaron Rodgers down and make sure he remembers the reckoning?
I hope so. I miss those 2 days. And Luke, I think you're talking about that Bruce Lee movie where he goes up the floors. But
it's good. What is it called? Chinese Connection or something? All I know is
is the End of the Dragon. Chinese Connection. You said
I don't know.
Because he ended up going through all these different floors, and then he got to that basketball player like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It was the Bruce Lee movie.
It was Kareem. Yeah, it was. I forgot what it was. I think it was.
No, it was Kareem.
Yeah, it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He kicked him, and you saw the whole footprint on his shirt. I was like, bro.
Yeah, bro. Ain't Bruce Lee the greatest fighter to ever live on the planet.
Yeah, I think that was End of the Dragon.
Yeah, it was End of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Well, you ain't gonna get me. You ain't gonna get me mad. All I know is I want to see that type of rage. And
make sure you guys like the video.
And make sure you subscribe to Dose of Dion as well. The guy was at 3,000. We need to get him back up there, and that's a big goal for all the YouTubers, I think, in the Detroit Alliance and everybody around there. What happened to him was a travesty, and we are trying to get this man back up to 3,000.
Right, guys. We trying to get the 3K with him.
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
Everybody needs to get up there.
Make sure you subscribe to Micro Mike. # he is a cool guy. Because that makes me happy.
To kind of get back to it, man, it's one of them things where to look at the injuries and say, oh, is this something I should be concerned about? Tell me the injury that was concerning. Like, you didn't tell me. Now wait, I'm getting told that it's called Game of Death, not Enter the Dragon. It's Game of It is
Game of Death. Okay, Game of Death. Okay.
To getting back to it, it's just I gotta find out like for me, you want me to be worried about injuries. Tell me it's something that they're gonna be out for the season, then I'll be worried about. But I'm telling you right now,
yeah,
this depth makes me just be like, oh, okay. It's sort of like it's I saw this sign a long time ago, and it said, "I don't do no warning shots. Bullets too expensive." And I'm thinking to myself, if you got it to blow it, you don't really care, you know. So I look at it and I say,
I got money to blow.
right, they got players like
but it's only one injury that I'm actually concerned about though, and you know, TJ Hawkinson injury on Austin Bryant. Like I'm concerned for the players now because like TJ is gonna be destroying y'all out here when he's trying to block. Like I'm concerned. I need him to dial it back a little bit. Other than that, it's cool.
Hey, listen, don't
if he injures somebody else, then we gonna be like, all right, bro, like chill.
Don't tell EA Sports that, man.
Like I mean, like he I mean, I'm just saying, I don't want to. It's possible he could injure somebody else because TJ Hawkinson blocked like nobody we've ever seen. Like,
right now, Ed Whiten says, who would be our interception leader this year? That's a good question.
Probably Slay.
Yeah, hopefully Slay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Darius Slay there for sure.
Yeah, with that defensive line, Slay will be having interceptions. If not Slay, it's gonna be Quandre.
I was about to say Quandre would be the second guy.
Yeah, but I got one more question before I go though. What do y'all think about Zach Zenner gaining like 14 pounds of muscle?
Listen, I'm worried for Zach Zenner.
Zach Zenner, Double Z is the OG.
Yeah,
ZZ is definitely. Oh man, I love it, man.
Man, he's gonna be a battering ram, man.
Hey, Jim, what'd you call him?
A battering
ram, bro.
Nah, you call him something else, don't you?
ZZ Top.
Yeah.
That was me, bro. Like Zach Zenner is a beast, man. Okay,
Zach Zenner is a freaking is the man, dude. He's about there. He breaks all. He gets so injured. What does he do? He come back freaking huge last year. Now he gained 14 pounds of muscle straight. Run it right down your throat. He knows how to go forward. That's what we need him to do.
Yeah,
he ready to go down looking like twins, man. This boy Zach Zenner gonna be a beast next year. Whenever you see the field.
Absolutely, man. Detroit Drew, man. What do you think of ZZ, man? What do you think of ZZ Top?
ZZ Top's my dude, man. I liked him the very first time I seen him play in the Lions uniform, man. This dude, smallest dude out there, but he thinks he's 6'2", can just plow everybody over. I absolutely love him for it.
Yeah, you ain't lying. He do not shy away from contact. Right. He is not trying to make you miss. He's like, nah, get out my way.
And you know, you see that with a lot of people who are scared to get hit. He ain't scared to get hit. He wants every yard he possibly can get. You got to have guys like that, man.
Hey, man.
We got 57 people in the chat. Make sure you guys like the video. Get some more get them likes up, man.
Absolutely. We trying to get this thing to be 100%.
General G-Berry said, who y'all think will be the MVP of the team besides Stafford?
What?
Besides Stafford?
Oh, this is easy for me.
I say Kerryon Johnson.
It's got to be Kerryon. Listen, we ain't had a run game in so long. Anybody who give us a run game, they're gonna get praised like the dude. What's his name? Leonidas from 300. Remember how he was getting praised? They're gonna be having that dude hyped up. Like, bro, we got a run game, and I'm gonna be one of the main ones doing it because I quickly knew that if we get a run game, that's what winning teams have. That's what it's going to be him. Now, I don't think they'll get an MVP to Hawkinson just because he's a rookie, and they're going to reserve that for a veteran. But unless Hawkinson go off and do something so crazy,
let Hawkinson get 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns or something like that.
Hey, I have a different MVP.
Then he might get it. You get 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns.
I definitely have a different MVP that I don't think anyone's really paying attention to, and that is KFC. He's not on the team. That makes him the greatest offensive coordinator not on our team, and immediately our team gets better. So thank you for becoming a a running backs coach from the Jets, right? And so again,
that's basically not having a job because they have Le'Veon Bell. So Le'Veon don't need no coaching.
It's actually a detriment to Le'Veon Bell to have him as a coach. But again, man, with our offensive coordinator coming in here, I think he's going to be the biggest difference maker from what it was last year. Having a competent offensive coordinator that can get all these players like Kerryon Johnson in the positions to succeed, man, it's going to be so immense from what it was from years past, folks. I think this offense is going to take a big jump from what it was, and having such a big jump like I believe it's going to be is going to pole vault us into the NFC North Championship. We are going to win the NFC North this year. I think, again, our defense helps out. But in my opinion, I think Darrell Bevell is the MVP right now for how I think this offense is going to be, simply because he can put all these pieces like TJ, like Carry-On, all these pieces in positions to succeed. Thus, our team succeeds.
And I think that's a good point you make about Bevel. My thing with Bevel is I'm familiar with him for a number of reasons, because I like the Seahawks too. But I go with my Lions. Okay, so but I think that for me, if he get this run game going, and then you look and see that the guard is Kenny Wiggins, and we still running the ball, people, y'all don't even understand. So, Antoine, I want to know what the topic is about. We're just talking about who do we see as the MVP on the team at this point?
Hey guys,
besides Stafford.
Hey, CA3's got to go, folks. I want to say thank you for CA3 for joining the chat. Folks, if you have not subscribed to CA3, please do so. He is majority on the Pistons talk on Monday night at 8 o'clock, so make sure that you check him out with Detroit Drew, 313 JMO, and I Noble Sports does that as well. So, again, we want to thank you for joining the show for a quick little bit.
Yeah.
And
I just had to stop in,
adios.
I just had to stop in. I had to see the last show of the Hangout era, so I had to stop in. I had to be on the last show of the Hangout era. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man.
Thanks for stopping by, man. For sure.
Yes, we just want to make sure that we do a proper send off to Google Hangouts, because this whole setup, it started everything. It really did start with the DVE people, man. When you guys have like 100 people on there, and y'all would be in like rare form. It was like watching Wu-Tang write an album. It was amazing. And it even during that time, I wasn't even thinking about doing YouTube. I was doing other stuff, but I was like, all right. And it just kept carrying over and growing. And so we just wanted to say goodbye to Google Hangouts in a fair way. Now, we're not saying goodbye to the Roundtable or anything like that, but to Google Hangouts, to you, we will miss you.
Yeah, we will miss you. I gotta go see you guys, man.
Hey, Mike, that song's copyrighted. You can't sing it, bro.
Look, Mike is finna get his vocals, so he's finna put the. Listen, y'all don't know this though, ladies and gentlemen, but Mike really do got bars. And
I want to hear him, man.
Listen, you're going to catch him at another time, but one day Mike gonna have to give y'all a bar or two.
I can spit if you need me to spit.
Oh, Mike.
Man, Mike, come on, man.
Mike, listen.
You don't got bars.
They think I'm playing Mike.
Barman, I don't know if that's you.
Okay.
I don't know.
Joseph Dion, man. Who's your MVP this year for the Lions?
I'm gonna go kind of an obvious one, Kenny Wiggins. Filling in that guard spot. No, I'm just kidding. Carry on.
I'm finna say, like, what?
Wow.
Hey, you had me going. I ain't gonna you had me going. I'm like, did he just say Kenny Wiggins? Did you see what Madden rated him? I think they gave him like a 62. They don't even care about him.
Yeah, he garbage, bro.
They did him dirty.
Melvin Drew said, I am worried Hawk is tearing them boys up in that secondary. They supposed to be letting them know he's a rookie. Is it Hawk or the defense is bad? Man, look, it's Hawkinson, because a couple of his touchdowns was in double coverage and they was draped all over him and he still caught it. So, like, what you gonna do about that? Hawkinson is just that good, man. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Listen, shout out to the Big Take. He says the DSA is the best sports YouTube group there is, man. Y'all, hey, appreciate that. We doing our thing, trying to make it all be inclusive, man, and get everybody involved. But listen, I don't think it's necessarily a matter of Hawkinson or that. It's a matter of the defense is being challenged with a new offense. And they're trying to learn what this new offense is doing. And that's causing the problem. So the good sign should be from the play calling. Not the defense not getting exposed, but the fact that their play calling is doing enough to confuse this defense. This is a good defense. And if you can find ways to confuse them, that means that you're making play calls that are confusing and are working. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and it gives me very high hopes for our red zone. I think the Lions are going to be like top 10 easy in red zone because of all the new weapons we got. And CJ Anderson and carry on. We're going to be really, really good in the red zone. So we need to get there as many times as possible.
I can concur with that. I definitely concur with that. Noble, man, what do you think, man? Who's your MVP? What do you think is going to go on this year? Good one. Yep. Great point, man.
Look, he caught him off guard, man. Listen, if y'all don't know, TA is trying to do the show and still do father duty. So, shout out to him. Now, also, I forgot about this. Morgan Trice is right. He says, make sure you plug your Discord, Luke. I do have Discord where we talk sports in there. So make sure you go and to any one of my videos, click on the link, join the Discord. You can send me a message directly. I'll talk right back to you. And we gonna have some fun because I got some stuff coming, and the only way you're gonna be able to rock with the stuff I got coming is to be on Discord. So make sure you get Discord and get on there with me. Now, Buff Dust says the only system there is the PS4. I'm with you on that. I don't, I got both of them, but I rock with my PS4. Just saying.
Same, bro. Same.
Sony game. I got flight 000 says we're gonna have the best defensive line in football. It's not close. That's what I think.
I think that too, man.
I mean, because people don't understand. It's about you putting Snacks Harrison, who was a beast by himself, with Trey Flowers and Mike Daniels. It's just bad.
Having Mike
don't
Daniels,
know other team got a combination like that.
Having Mike
they
Daniels
usually got one guy or at most two guys. They don't got three guys.
So having Mike Daniels join us really elevates that defensive line from really good to scary.
And I ain't sleeping on Ashawn Robinson either. He played very solid last year.
And he came back to practice today. Everyone was worried that he may be injured for, I don't know, up to week 2.
No, he was just taking a personal day, man. No big deal.
I mean, and you see more and more players do that, to be honest. I mean, the Jaguars linebackers, Smith, he took the whole year off for mental purposes. So, I don't even take it light. When a guy say he need a personal day, I don't need no explanation. It's a personal day. It is what it is. I respect that personal space. And, we shouldn't question it. The fact that he's back, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
we've been talking about Tavai a lot. McClain Bell, shout out 1 Pride 40 in the building. James Willis says I see Tavai getting sacks at linebacker and edge. Well, he would be getting sacks at the edge, but I don't know if we're gonna need him to do that now. If everybody's healthy, we might just have him, stay back, and it'd be rare when he used him at the edge. So I don't know how many sacks he would get from putting his hand in the dirt.
Well, he wouldn't put his hand in there. They wouldn't need him to. They just need.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't need him to do that now.
Yeah, they would just use him like Von Miller almost. So, first black man on the net says Luke. Patricia said Daryl Bevel was that guy he always had a problem with. So, what does Quinn do? Put them both on the same squad. Left.
Hey,
so the enemy
that might explain why Patricia getting defense losing a little bit. Even though they don't got the best players out there, though.
Man, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's what's up. Dion, you good over there?
I think so.
You sound real good. Okay. Go ahead. Maestro.
Dion, man. So, what do you think adding Mike Daniels to defensive line, how do you believe it elevates the line? Do you think it's a very good thing? Do you think it's good for depth? Do you think it's a monstrous move? What do you think in your opinion?
I think it's a crazy move because him and Snacks just completely can shut down the run game. And then we have so many good linemen before all these guys came. I mean, it's easy to forget about Quora, who has 7.5 sacks last year. And then you bring in Trey Flowers. The edge is good, but also the middle is good, so it's going to collapse the pocket. So you won't just be getting pressure from one side. You should be getting it from all 4 sides. All 2 sides, I guess you say, if they're throwing the ball. And then running the ball, it should basically be shut down.
Absolutely, man. I think, literally having Snacks and Mike Daniels in the middle, who's going to run on that? Who is going to run on that? What happens when you stop the run and you can run the ball? You win. I think I think adding Daniels to this mix just really elevates this defensive line to obviously the best in the league, in my opinion. And I think we are going to have a top 5 defense. In my opinion, my record before Mike Daniels was 11-5. I have elevated that to 12-4. I think at this point, they are the scariest team in the NFC North. They're a big-time scary team in the NFC. And if no team or other individuals in the mainstream media is paying attention, they're fools. Because at this point, Bob Quinn's going all the way. He wants another ring, and he wants a ring for the first time being general manager. I know this sounds crazy, but I think the Lions do have a chance, the ability, specifically if they can fix that guard position, to get a ring and really make insane noise for the Lions and Detroit all around. JMO, I know you're in agreement with me because we talked about this before. Tell the folks, in your opinion, what Mike Daniels brings, how this elevates our team.
Well, as I said in my video on the Lions, you know how we're gonna have the best D line. You know, that's a shameless plug. You know, 313 JMO, go check that out. But our defense is multiple and it's versatile, and it's a lot of versatility, and he just adds to the versatility because he's so versatile. You know, 3 technique, 4 technique, any technique you want, and he can drop back in coverage. And people think because, you know, defensive linemen, some of them don't have speed, but like he really has speed to keep up with the quarterbacks in space. I saw that one play where he tackled Mr. Trubisky in space, and we know how fast he is. So, and that's without any help, because really he was like the only good defensive lineman on the Packers team. It wasn't really nobody else. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I think right, like he was the one guy that I always worried about, and I'm glad that he's on our team now. And it just keeps everybody fresh.
Kenny Clark mattered too, but I think Kenny Clark benefited from having him on that D line.
And then it's one more thing, one more element that we're not paying attention to, is that's his pass rushing element along with stopping the run. Like he can actually pass rush and get to the quarterback. He has pass rush moves, and he can get to the quarterback. And you put him around this kind of talent. You know, if I was him, I would be just excited if I'm coming to a defensive line like that, and I know I'm going to be starting because I got paid a lot. Why wouldn't Mike Daniels be happy? And you know, so and then he can stop that run. So nobody's gonna be able. We will have the best run defense in the entire league, and I think we got the best defensive line. Like I said, quarterbacks are gonna be having nightmares about going up against us.
But let me ask the chat this, because do anybody in the chat believe that Mike Daniels can't rush the passer? Is there anybody in the chat that believe that? Do anybody believe that, like, if you had to be a betting man and say, yeah, Mike Daniels can't rush the passer?
Well, you have to look at it like this, though. He plays the same way Snacks. He's got, 29, 30 sacks in his career. He really doesn't play third down, though. He's in there to stop the run. He's not really out there on passing plays. So he doesn't have the same opportunity. But, yeah, when he's out there, dude, he's a beast.
Right, and that's my thing, man. I heard that. I was thinking he don't rush the passer, and I'm like, what? Excuse me. Well, I'm like, he absolutely do. You know, he absolutely rushes the passer. He has some of the best.
He definitely rushes the passer. Yeah. I've seen him sack Stafford plenty of time. What you talking about?
I think only look. He can definitely rush the passer. I think that's a given. Anyone that believes that, maybe they're like some 2 guys.
Like Snacks is the type of guy that can't rush the passer.
I think individuals like that are the only individuals that believe for some reason that he can't rush the passer and that he is definitely not worth what he's got paid. I think, again, it's probably just 2 guys, you know, in their parents' basement.
Sitting on the TV in their mom's basement, you know, talking about how much the moving good.
You said it was in their mama's basement. If y'all don't know,
I just don't understand how you can hate on this Mike Daniels signing.
Listen, if y'all don't know what we're doing, all you got to do is literally go on YouTube, put in the search Mike Daniels, and you're gonna see some title that says something like it's gonna be the only bad title you're gonna see about Mike Daniels. Watch the video, and if you can do it without laughing, I would be impressed.
It's a try not to laugh challenge by people that are challenged.
D. Williams in the building, Nicholas Aaron in the building. What's up, guys?
This dude right here said, Nicholas Crazy said, I rented out my dad's basement. I'm offended, laughing out loud.
But see, I said mom. I didn't say that though.
You know, hey, it's crazy. It's crazy when I heard it, and I'm like, he don't rush the passer. And it's like all these little weird things. I noticed, like, this is the thing I want people to understand. If you look at all these people right now, Dion, Mike, Drew, J-Mo, me, we know our sports, okay? We know our sports and we know our teams, okay? But, man, it's some stuff that's out here that I'm telling y'all, man, when somebody sit there and say Mike Daniels don't rush the passer, and then turn around and say things like he's washed up, and I'm like, he was hurt last season. Like, what do you mean? Like if he wasn't hurt, this doesn't even become a thing, you know. And Brian Ellis says it's best. He said N Daniels gonna come in on passing downs. It's because that's what he's brought here for. And that lets you know, man, like when y'all watching this content,
I agree.
Challenge the content creators to whatever they saying. Because even me, Luke would tell you off rip, like, go and do your research. And the reason he said it is because he wants you to check them. He wants you to check them. Now, John Martin says, where's Everything King? Everything King is doing the same thing that TA of No Sports Entertainment is doing, and that's the father duties. So he was unable to come on today, him as well as Pride Time B. So shout out to him. Shout out to Man Beast Morris. And telling you, I just wanted to have those Detroit content makers on here doing it, but not all Detroit content makers are the same.
And we got lives outside of here. And so again, Man Beast Morris may show up tonight, and that would be great. Everyone's got different schedules, and so that's why we wanted to make the show a little bit longer today. Again, is for you guys, the subscribers, and to show the world, you know, that the Lions YouTube community is one. Even if you're not DSA, it doesn't matter, folks.
Yep.
We are in here battling the mainstream legacy media from individuals that understand the game against folks who are just epic morons. I mean, literally, that's what we do. We got the great one, my twin, J-Mo. We got Detroit Drew. We got the field general. And, of course, we got Dose of Dion. I mean, everyone else as well. We combat these guys and make sure that they get put down, and we give you content that you want to hear that is factual based. So, again, Dion, quick question for you, though. Man, This defense, do you think this defense could be top 5 this year, top 10? What do you believe the ranking of this Lions defense can be this year?
I think this could be the best defense in the league, honestly. I mean, I think last year they finished 10, so I think they can be the best in the league. Matt Patricia's second year, he's got guys buying in. He's got even better players than before. The money that they spent, this could definitely be the best defense in the league, because really a lot of it comes down to that defensive line that will help out the secondary for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think this defense, it could be really scary. I think we definitely have a potential to be top 5, top 3. I think we definitely have the ability to repeat what we did in 2014, and that's where we had the second overall defense in the league. And I do think it's possible to get the best defense in the league. Again, man, I think sky is the limit for this defense. And a subscriber asked, who is my twin? That is 313 J-Mo. We literally
I'm no
exactly
twin,
the
but
same.
you know, it's Heart of the City, 313 J-Mo in the building, man. What's up?
J-Mo is my twin. We look exactly alike. But in all honesty, we pretty much agree on like 99% of everything. It's crazy. So, J-Mo, what do you think about this defense? Do you think we can get top 5, best in the league, top 10? What do you think, man?
Well, I think we're gonna be top 5 no matter what, but I'm gonna agree with Dose of Dion. I think we can be the best defense in the league, and as long as we're healthy, I think because there's a lot of great defenses in the league, but I just don't know if any one team has a defensive line like ours. I know, you know, you have Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack on their respective teams with defensive talent, but is their defensive line from top to bottom, from like one defensive lineman to 6 defensive linemen, all star studded like ours? And are they as multiple? Are they as versatile as ours? And they aren't. And then when you add in the fact, Darius Slay and all the other upgrades we made at cornerback and linebacker, I'm just like, I don't see how we're not the best defense, because we were 10th defense, we were 10th in the run, we were 13th in the pass last year. So I mean, we can definitely improve on that, and I think we could be the best defense in the NFL. But if we're not, somewhere in the top 5 for sure.
Absolutely,
now,
man.
I do like this question from Data Boy. He said, "So you guys think they are better than the Bears defense?"
Yes, I do.
Now that's a question that's gonna really test y'all will right there.
Yeah, they Lions fans don't want to accept it, but yes, I do.
Yep.
And see, I agree. I think that when you look at the Detroit Lions and you look at the Bears defense got a lot of turnovers. They did. They got a lot of turnovers and stuff. But here's the thing: that does not carry over from season to season. It just doesn't. And if you take those turnovers out the way, go and look at some of the teams that they played and they struggled against. You know, like that's the real telling story for me. Even in those Lions games, I'm like, if it wasn't for some bad decisions on the head coaching part, I think we win those games handily. And by bad decisions, consistently trying to get a ball to LeGarrette Blount, who somehow got to Detroit to think that he was Michael Jackson and was going to moonwalk his way to the end zone.
Woo, yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
Detroit Drew.
You said, is Mike Daniels better than Hicks? No, no. But what about snack stuff?
Yep.
What about Trey Flowers?
Yep.
Who was there? Deshaun Hand.
We have depth. We have depth at the defensive line with players that should be starters on other teams immediately. That's what makes this defensive line so good, man. And I'll give my take on it in a minute, but I want to hear Detroit Drew, man. What do you think this defense? Do you think we could be the best, top 5, top 10? What do you think, man?
We definitely had the potential to be the best in the league. The key factor of it is, you look at last year, we struggled early on in the season, but I mean, the first play of the season was a pick 6. Matt Patricia has done a good job of finding schemes and doing matchups against other teams. I think it took a little bit of time for players to buy into it, but once they bought into it, they took off. I mean, you beat the Super Bowl champs in New England, and then you gave the Super Bowl champs the formula to beat the Rams. Not everyone can do that. I mean, there is a reason we hired Patricia. He is a defensive guru, and it's going to see the key factors is everyone buying in, and the addition of Mike Daniels is the deciding factor in that one. He wanted to come here. He took a pay cut to come here. He could have gone to Minnesota, Chicago, that are a little bit more hyped up than the Lions are from the media, right, wrong, or indifferent. He could have gone there. He didn't. He came here. He bought it into the system already without even practicing. So he never even met Patricia before coming here, but he heard everything about him. And plus, Snacks is his boy. They're like BFFs. I don't know what they do together. I don't know if they paint each other's toenails or whatever, but they're close.
He said, they paint each other's toenails or something. He was like, they get faces together.
I don't know what they do in their business.
No, man, when you paint each other's toenails, that's a different level of close. So he said he don't know if they that level yet.
They close. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hey, we get it.
I don't know how close they're going to go, but they're pretty close.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain to you why I think this defense is going to take the next step, and I'm going to take a different approach here. And this is something I've talked about before, but it's very vital to repeat it. What really helps a defense really take that next step, folks, and that's making sure that they rest, that they're not on the field all the time. Last year, our offense was terrible. We were doing 3 and outs often. The defense was on the field more than it should be. This year, I think the offense is going to take a big step forward to where we sustain long drives. What does sustaining long drives create? It creates a lot of defense to rest, and it creates the offense on the opposing team to be out on the field more, and their defense have to not rest. So when we're resting as much as we are, the defensive line, the big boys who get winded fairly quickly have the ability to have more energy, go after the quarterback. When that happens, the ball will be in the air, and the quarterback's got to throw bad throws, and that means the secondary can make plays and interceptions and turnovers. Folks, having such an offense that can sustain drives is going to make this talented defense, a very talented defense, take that next step. And I do believe that we could be within top 5 for sure. I think we do have the potential to be the best defense in the league, and it's something to behold. It is something to behold. Luke, is there anything you would like to add to that? Because I know you're very insightful when it comes to stuff like that.
I mean, I mean, you hit on everything. It really does boil down to them being able to have the defense come in constantly fresh. If you go back to the years where we had the Ndamukong Suhs, the Nick Fairleys, that's all Jim Schwartz did. He would rotate defensive linemen in and out. He probably did it a little bit too much, which got us a few penalties, but at least he didn't, have multiple games and crucial points where it was only 9 people on the field or less. So, but that ability to rotate guys in and out is very pivotal. I'll never forget, I had this one game when I played where our offense just couldn't get it clicking, right? And here we are holding this team. This team ain't scored yet, right? We went to 2 quarters. They couldn't even break the 50-yard line. We was that zoned up. But by that 4th quarter, that team started wearing us down because we was on the field too long. Drive started getting longer and longer. They started running the ball, and the running back they had, he was like Speedy Gonzalez. Every time you thought you saw him, he cut somewhere else and was ghost. So what it does is it creates a perfect situation where the defense is always at their best because guess what? They're not gassed. It gives you an opportunity to have different looks. And that's going to be accompanied by having a run game. But you hit on all the major points, man, and that's where this defense is going to have the biggest improvement. When I could take a Snacks out, put in the H-John Robinson and throw in the Mike Daniels, I don't lose production. I can take a Mike Daniels out, take a Snacks out, take out an H-John Robinson. I can throw in Trey Flowers and Deshaun Hen. I don't lose production. If I decide to keep playing with that different front, I don't lose production. And that comes from being able to always have rest. And Blue and Silver pointed out too, don't forget Austin Bryant. I can take Austin Bryant and have him rush from the edge, and I can still put in Trey Flowers, throw in Austin Bryant, and if I really want to be at an insult to injury, I just throw in Romeo Core and just say, listen, y'all go and get him. It's 3rd and 15. The options are limitless. They're going to be there.
Yeah, one thing about our defense, though, that I want some fans to realize, first of all, a team can be great just off of carrying defense, and I think our offense is not going to be trash. It will be top 10. So that's why the team will be good, but our defensive line is going to live in the backfield. I mean, they're going to live in the backfield all day and all night, stopping the run and getting sacks. I just I can't compute how you stop this defensive line. I'm just being real. Like, it's just too many guys. Luke just went in depth about the rotation. Then you still got guys in the secondary that can pass rush. It just looks, you're not gonna be able to run the ball at all. And they're gonna live in the backfield, man.
It's like an earthquake, man. You have the earthquake, and what happens after an earthquake? You have the aftershocks. It's waves of defensive players that can go after that quarterback, and it's not going to slow down. It's just going to get even harder. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. And I think, again, what I was saying when it comes to the offense, players like TJ Hawkinson that we didn't have last year, our tight ends were trash. I think with his emergence and the ability to keep that clock moving on offense really helps out the defense. And again, like when it comes to TJ,
it's not just him, it's everybody. Because we got Kenny, we still got Marvin, we still got Danny, we still got Jesse, still got Isaac Wada, still got Carry-On out the backfield. It's just like a nightmare on both. It's a nightmare on both sides of the ball right now, in my opinion.
It's Freddy Krueger's nightmare, literally. I mean, it's that good. It's that good. And I think
the Lions have to do something this year or it's over.
Yeah. That's a good transition right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a good question for you. If the Lions do not make the playoffs or they have another 6-win season, Is it going to be a blown up situation where everyone goes, it's a free sale? Luke, what do you think about this? If the Lions, they go 6 wins or 5 wins, don't make the playoffs, and they don't look good, what do you think happens to this organization?
Nothing. Not one thing, and it shouldn't. I'm not trying to be funny. You're going to go real catastrophic. I'm talking about 1 and something, 2 and something, 3 and something. But I don't see them going 3-13. I don't. And even if they do go 3-13, I can get rid of everybody but Bob Quinn. Why? Go and look at the Baltimore Ravens. You know how many bad seasons they had under Ozzie Newsome? But guess what they did? They stayed with their GM. And he just kept bringing talent in there. Sometimes you may need to change up one part of it. You may need to change up the quarterback. Maybe you need to change up the running back. Maybe you need to change up the offensive coordinator, the head coach. Whatever it is, they can all go. Bob Quinn stay put. Because the first thing I'm trying to figure out is you better bring somebody in who doing what he doing. I see vision when he make moves. I see cap space when he make moves. I see him going. I see a plan. I can't tell you the last time I saw that with the Detroit Lions. So I don't see them going low, but if that do happen and they decide to blow up anything, I feel like this. You gave all them years to Jim Caldwell, who ain't beating nobody with a good team. And then on top of that, he couldn't even get the right amount of people on the field in crucial points. And he got to keep his job. He backdoor his way into one playoff. And the second one, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, we ain't seen Matt Patricia in the playoffs yet either. So
and that's
that gives
thing.
me some intrigue because Jim Caldwell was so bad in the playoffs, and so was Schwartz.
But this is first offseason. This is first full offseason. He came into a team where he had to basically do everything on the fly, and he had to do little tactics to figure out who was the strong from the weak. And the first thing you started hearing was people complaining like, yo, man, he made us run. I'm like, wait a minute, what? We had guys complaining about running. Like, come on. So for me, I don't see a scenario where they go anything less than 11-5. But for me, it's nothing to blow up unless it's really catastrophic.
Woo, folks, we have some individuals that joined the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce them to you all. So the first one is the guy who cheated on his English test with a calculator. What up, Donomus J?
That's disrespectful, low key.
He said cheated on his English test with a
Folks, we also have the guy. What the? We also have the guy that literally made DBE on the map. He is the individual who found the last digit of pi. What up, Doe Man Beastmore?
Put him in the basket where they.
All right.
Wow, we got a lot going on in his background that he got to get situated.
Yeah,
What's
so
up,
Nomis. So the question around here is, since you have not been asked yet, might as well straight go to you. When you think of the Lions, and if they do really bad this year, say we go 6 wins this year and don't make the playoffs, do you think that the Lions are going to blow this thing up or stay on course?
Man, that's a juggler. Here's the thing. I think they stay on course because the fact of the matter, you still got a lot of young guys, and due to mine, this is still his second year. So I think I'll give him a third year to try to really see what he's going to do. Then I'll say that maybe after that, if he doesn't really impress us too much, then we should be considering other options because we can't keep giving a coach like 4 years and then they show us absolutely nothing. So I would say, yeah, I'll still try to ring with him due to the fact of the matter that, because it depends. Anything can happen. Like injuries could have happened too. So that could have hurt the team real bad. You know what I mean? And not just with the big name free agents we brought here, but could be some like players that were already here or the young draft picks they were contributing heavy. So it's considering that if it's everybody healthy, and it was just a mess, I gotta say I'm leaning towards him leaving. But if it's because of something else like that, I gotta give him another chance.
Yo, absolutely, absolutely. Joseph Dion, man, what do you think about this? While Man Beast gets his microphone situation taken care of, do you think that this scenario in which if we do really bad, we go 6 wins or a really bad record, they blow this up or keep it going?
I don't think you can blow it up. See, my thing is, I think if you blow it up, I mean, you're not really helping yourselves, especially when Patricia's only been here for 2 years, like you guys said. I mean, you look at we don't want to be like a Browns team where we just be switching coaches because you're not going to be able to implement any kind of system. You're just be moving too much. Stafford's already over 30. You kind of have to. I think at this point, you give Matt Patricia a couple of years, and you just go, okay, we're buying into your system. We drafted all your players. If it doesn't work, we'll move on then. But right now, we got to go with what we have. We can't keep changing.
Man, that was well said. That was well said. That's exactly how I look at it. I mean, wow. Get out of my head, Dion. Get out. Stay out of my head.
That's a dangerous place to be.
Wow. Really? Really? I feel you. But to me, you can't blow it up. It's nothing. Listen, it's nothing to blow up. Here's my thing. This is my question I gotta ask you guys, okay? If the national media expectations is 3-13, 4-12, and they go 3-13, 4-12, they met expectations. They basically said, in quote, the NFC North is a tough division. So if it's that tough and they go that, why are we blowing it up? We met their expectation that they thought. Now I don't think that's gonna happen. But my attitude to it is, if you didn't even think we were going to win, why is it that all of a sudden now when we don't, the media wants us to blow it up?
Well, honestly, looking at the roster and the coaching and the culture and Bob Quinn, if we go 6-10 and it's not because there's a scar to one of our star-studded players or something like that, and the team is mostly 80-90% healthy, and we just lose games. It's a lot of interceptions and a lot of drop passes and just horrible coverage. If all that types of things, all that stuff happens, I definitely think you should blow it up. But sad part is blowing it up is a slippery slope because you have to find a replacement. And that's one thing with a lot of Lions fans, that you don't want to trade Stafford and blow it up and get rid of Matt Patricia. After we get rid of these guys, we're back to the same old Lions. We're nobody. Now we got to hope that a quarterback that we draft is going to be somebody. So, when you talk about blowing it up and getting rid of Stafford, so are you going to be able to find a replacement that's going to take us to the playoffs in their rookie season? You know what I'm saying? Are they going to take us straight to the playoffs? Because that's why you would have got rid of him, right? Because you blowing it up and you starting over. So this new guy, I expect him to be throwing for 4,500 yards and taking us to the playoffs and winning games his first 3 years. But see, Lions fans, they don't think that far ahead.
Yo, Man Beast, are you good to go now, man? Still issues going on.
Okay, yeah.
Detroit Drew, man, what do you think on this opinion? Do we blow it up if we do really bad, or do we continue the course? What do you think, man?
I think that there's a possibility you could go 10-6 and not make the playoffs in the NFC. So I'm not blowing anything up.
Nah, I agree. But
if they go 4-12, man, we got some things to talk about.
Yeah, we do, man.
We may have some things to talk about, but there are certain parts of that conversation that should never include Bob Quinn.
Yeah.
Oh no, man, Bob Quinn, no, he ain't going nowhere.
Here's the deal. I think if we do like a 4-12, I think that they would be firing Matt Patricia. I think they would be looking for a new franchise quarterback in this draft. I think at this point, the calls.
My thing is, it's not one.
What's that?
And that's what I'm worried about. It's not one.
I'm not saying it should be. I'm saying I think that's what they would do. I think, in my opinion, again, if they do really bad like that, a 4-win team, I think sky is going to fall on a lot of these guys, and I hope it wouldn't be Bob Quinn because, again, what he has done, in my opinion, has really built this team up in depth. The odds, I think, of the Lions doing bad, I give it about 5% chance.
But I really want to say,
Go
one
ahead,
reason
James.
you don't blow it up is because of what I just said about the quarterback. I know people like Tua and they like to do from Oregon, but really, Trevor Lawrence is the only quarterback I believe in. He's not coming out till after this season. So even if we do bad, you better off keeping the same squad and running it back again and failing and then getting Trevor Lawrence. Otherwise, we end up with, some run-of-the-mill quarterback that's not going to be that good next year. I know they said the quarterback class is going to be better, but they always say that.
I just don't think you can blow it up. I think you got to keep Patricia because he's dedicated to stopping the run.
They go 4-12 with this squad?
But
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
It's impossible in my eyes. But if you somehow go 4-12 with this squad, everybody got to go.
But you're going to need someone like Patricia. All right, so say you're going to move on from him. You need someone like Patricia.
That's like, man, I don't know, man. That's like the Warriors winning 40 games.
But you're going to need Patricia, though, because if you go to the playoffs, you're going to have to play the Cowboys and stop Eazy-E. You're going to have to play the Rams and stop Todd Gurley if he ever plays. I don't know what was up with that. And you're going to have to play Kamara. You're going to stop that. You have to have this defensive scheme that's supposed to stop the run. You got to stock the box to stop these guys. If you go back to Jim Caldwell or Jim Schwartz or someone that you don't really know that well, you're going to have an issue. You can't keep changing coaches. No one's going to buy in that way. That was why this thing had a rough start, because people liked Caldwell. The guys liked him. He was a player's coach. You can't keep doing that. No one's going to want to play here.
And
I was just saying, we go 4-12. It's a problem.
No, but think about it. You have to understand that continuity is everything. Like I give you a story. Don't nobody laugh. This is a true story, all right? I met this girl. She had some mental problems, okay?
Uh-oh.
So she did. She had some mental problems. I met this girl, and she was like, yeah, I want to go ahead and go on this date. So we go on this date. We in the car, right? And I pick her up, and everything was cool. We in the car. We ride, and everything's cool. We on the freeway, and she looks over at me, and I go, yeah, you're looking really nice today. And she goes, who are you? Now, I'm thinking she's playing, right? Because at this point, we don't have conversations and everything. She goes, who are you and why are you kidnapping me? And I'm like, what? Kidnapping you? What are you talking about? She goes, let me out. She starts screaming, unbuckling her seatbelt, banging on the window. I pull her right over on 94 and let her out. She ran up the hill, helped, called the police and everything, right? I'm going to show you how continuity works.
You're about to get me too, buddy. You better be careful.
Listen, she called me later that day and said she had something where I forgot what it was. Something. It was some type of mental disorder, and she was afraid to tell me because she didn't know how I was going to react. Now, here's the continuity in me. I put her out of my car. I hung up on her after that phone call, and I never called her again. I'm consistent in making sure I stay away from crazy people. It's the same thing with the Lions. You have to make sure that there's a level of consistency that is going to be there for players on the outside to see. If every time they look up as a free agent and you're switching coaches, there's no continuity there. That means that you are only going to get free agents based off of high pay. You're only going to get free agents based off of trash. You have to find a way to be consistent to where the people on the outside can see it and see the plan. That's what
Don Bird's right. We need to switch subjects. He said, let's talk about winning. We talked about losing for years on top of years, 65 to be exact. You know what? Let's talk about winning, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's switch it up. Let's switch it up to one of the other topics, Mike.
Okay. So let's switch it to winning, man. So, Nomis, we'll start with you. What is the best record you think that we can get this year? Do you think we can go 13-3, 14-2, 12-3? What do you think is the top record that we can get, and what is the result of us doing so well?
Personally, I think we could shock the world and be like a 13-3 type of team. But if I had to lowball it, just for the sake of lowballing it, because that's what
you don't have to lowball it. He just asked you about highballing it.
We don't want low balls or blue balls. We want high balls.
He said low balls or blue.
All right, so I'll go 13-3. Due to the fact of the matter, I think if the Lions are able to run the ball effectively, and this defensive line is what we are believing it to be, without a doubt, it's going to be hard to beat the Lions, because unless you're a team like the Broncos, who we expect to still kind of give us a tough challenge regardless, in a situation that may be tough, we're going to beat a lot of other teams due to the fact of the matter that their defenses, I don't believe, can stop the Lions. especially when you consider us being at home or on a game that's like in our kind of style. It's not at home. So I feel like the Lions could take away with a 13-3 record. But I always say this as a sad note: watch the losses they do have, because they could tell a whole story. But I got a video about that coming out soon. But anyway, I do honestly think though, if the run shows up, play action pass with the tight ends, it can be a slow burn of an offense with a defense that can attack and be confusing as they come. And I do think the turnovers that happen, and I think that will lead to us to like a 13-3 record.
Awesome, man. Joseph, Dion, what do you think, man? What's our high point for the Lions win record? And what do you think the result would be if we do like a 14-2 or a 13-3?
Okay, well, if I'm going my highest here, I'm saying 14-2, 15-1, like the Packers did. I mean, they could, and the reason they would lose those last games because they're resting. That's what it would be. I mean, I think they can match.
Dion came through with the Goku Kamehameha. Like, no, we only gonna lose that one because he was resting.
Hey, you gonna hear me? I'm going higher than not losing that one. What you thought?
You go 6.
I've been the only one to say it, so I'm just gonna put it out in the universe.
You got some wood to knock on real quick?
I don't need no wood.
Because if we go 0-16 again, I'm gonna lose it.
We're not gonna go 0-16 again.
0% chance of that happening.
I might pull a Britney Spears and shave my hair off. I don't want
like it would make more sense that we go 16-0 to reverse the curse.
I mean, I like your enthusiasm.
Yo, man.
Hey, we gonna see, man. Go ahead, Dion.
Man Beast, are you able to speak yet? If so, speak or forever hold your peace. Okay, so peace was held. Let's go, Detroit Drew.
Mike is man. I told you, man. He's a cool guy. Like,
hey, Mike
make sure you guys like the video if you haven't liked the video already. We got 66 people watching right now.
Thank you.
Detroit Drew, I'm going to throw it to you. What is the high mark for the Lions, and what is the result if we achieve that?
I think originally I had this team going 10-6. I think 11-5 is more realistic, but you can get lucky and win a couple more games. So I think 13-3. I think they can look at that as a realistic goal. Obviously, it's not going to be easy; never is going to be. But if you say you get over 11 wins, so 12 are up, you're going to get so much credibility around the league after everyone said you're going to go 3-13 that they're going to have no choice but to hop on the bandwagon. This team needs something over that mark. I don't even care if they go 8-8. If they go 8-8, they over doubled what the media said, and the media couldn't. They look like they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's definitely a good point.
They don't call me Detroit Drew for nothing.
My bad. I ain't mean no disrespect. My bad.
Oh man, wow.
I'll take this question and throw it to Luke G. Luke, what do you think, man?
12-4. 12-4 is my high point. To me, I want the Lions to get those 4 losses. Now, this is gonna sound crazy to y'all a little bit, but let me just explain it. Let me tell you what I mean. I have noticed this with teams who go on these streaks, and they tend to get into a mode as if though they have arrived. And I don't want us to think we have arrived. We've had too many years of mediocrity. So I don't want us to get comfortable. I need the pressure to be on like it should be. Every game needs to count. So if they go 12-4, that wins the division. It puts them in the playoffs. More than likely, it puts them probably in the mix for a bye week, but at the very least, it's a home playoff game. And if we get a home playoff game, man,
I'm going.
Man, listen, they're gonna have stand-up seats. And I'm telling you, what you're gonna notice is over time, the team is going to play harder and harder because they know that each win matters. If they go 13-3, they're going to feel like it's a cakewalk. 14-2, they're going to feel like it's a cakewalk. I need them to feel like every game is their last game, Go out there and act like you was that Mike Daniels who got released and you mad. I need that to be the case, and that's why I want to see it.
I'll have to debunk you a little bit, just a little bit.
Go ahead, man. Talk to the people.
Well, although if this is another team, yeah, I'd say that I agree with you 110%. Problem with this is, although you may be right, Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn have been heavily dosing to the players to keep their ears away from the media. Two, speaking of the media, I don't think they would let us have our moment if we went 13.
Facts.
I think they'll find a way to put us down still and go against us regardless of our record.
Facts.
And I think that would actually put us in a position to still be the underdog.
You know the story gonna be. The story's gonna this the headline gonna be, look, are the Lions the Chicago Bears of this year? Meaning we gonna lose the whole playoff game. That's what they gonna run with.
Yeah.
But
because they're gonna see some sort of strength about the other team that just got hot, and they're gonna be like, oh, the Lions may not have this as easy as all, and then next you know, oh, the Lions may lose their first home playoff game in 23 years, and then we win, then it's gonna be excuses.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but for me, like I said, 16-0. But you know, we turn it on 16 to 16-0. But being just a little bit more realistic, I'm gonna have to go with 15-1 because I think we have the potential to win. When I look at all of the games, I can go over the games. I'm not gonna go over, but Arizona, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Chiefs. I think we can win those games. The Packers twice. I think we're sweeping them. Minnesota's gonna be tough, but those are winnable. The Bears will be tough, but those are winnable. And then you got Oakland, New York, Washington, and the Cowboys. We can win all of those games. And then, but the only game I don't have us winning, this is, of course, the Broncos. No way we winning that game. I don't care if we resting people or not. We're not beating the Broncos.
Let me ask
That's the one loss on the record, 15-1, man. I think we can go 15-1 and then go to the Super Bowl like the Panthers and be the good cats and not choke, because we know Matthew Stafford is jumping on that football. So,
Well, listen, let me ask you a question. It's a little bit off beat, but J-Mo brought up this idea about the Broncos. Okay, do the Broncos not have a receiving threat out the backfield? Like, do y'all think that's a thing?
Yes, they have receiving.
You mean like a receiving running back?
Yeah.
I mean, well, they don't, but they got two otherworldly running backs.
So you don't
got Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman. Like, you don't need a receiving threat when you got them.
But they are receiving threats. They're running
Well,
back.
Philip Lindsay is.
But that's my point. Do you think that's my question? The question was,
nah.
Do you think they don't have one? They have to. Like, Philip Lindsay does it. And he's good at it.
Well, with the Broncos, I think the Lions losing that game. But realistically, I'm going to tell you my predictions. My floor is 13-3. I mean, not the floor, but the ceiling is 13-3. My floor is 7-9.
My floor is like 8-8, and then obviously my ceiling 15-1. But I think we at least gonna be 8-8 no matter what.
My floor is actually 9-7 with a playoff.
I want to hear Man Beast talk about this one because he hasn't really had a chance to speak. Man Beast, explain it in detail to the folks why you think this is going to occur.
I think as far as 13-3 goes, if everything goes right, we stay healthy, we can go 13-3. That's my ceiling. But the floor, only reason why the floor would happen, got to be a bunch of injuries to key players and Patricia making big mistakes at the wrong time type of stuff. That's the only reason why I can say 7-9 at the worst. But that'll still be over what the media predicted. But I'm just saying that I think our defense can be top 6, top 5, honestly. And our offense somewhere in the middle of the pack. But it's going to be good enough to win us some games. So that's my personal opinion. I got 11-5. 11-5 will win the division this year.
I got us 12-4 being a 2 seed. I don't know who the 1 seed gonna be though.
I say we're gonna be like the 4th seed or the 3rd seed.
Man, look, man, I think teams are gonna be like this, man. When they see us come out.
He needs some milk.
Hey, folks, that's what I believe is going to happen. I think teams are going to be very shocked in how this thing plays out. I think we're going to go the ceiling. We're talking about the greatest. I think they go 16-3, and that means they win the Super Bowl.
Blue and Silver Phantom got a question, and I'm gonna ask this to everyone because a lot of us has us losing to the Broncos. He says, "Why do I act like Denver is so great?" It's just some teams can't beat some teams. It's like that in the NBA sometimes. But going up to Mile High late in the season against a defense that will be great and they know how to play in that environment, it's just going to be a tough environment. We lost to the Buffalo Bills last year for the same reason. And I think Broncos are going to be a playoff team. So, or if they're not a playoff team, they're going to be 9-7. So, I don't think they're going to be trying to win. You know, it's going to be more on the line for them.
I couldn't agree more. Don't be the type of games the Lions lose. They'll lose to the Broncos, but beat the Chargers and the Chiefs. They'll do something like that. That's how the Lions eat.
The reason why I think we'll lose to the Broncos too, man, is because some teams they know how to win with their strength. Like, remember also when we lost to the Ravens? That was kind of our fault too, because Jim Caldwell's inability to manage a good game. But they was really coming at us with their defense, and then they actually did things offensively they shouldn't have been doing. But a lot of teams beat people with their weaknesses sometimes. It's just one of those weird games. We used to beat the Broncos back before they got real good again, but that was a different time. Like now,
yeah, they got Vic Fangio now, and we already know him and Stafford have had their battles. And I know that defense is going to be good.
That could be one of those low-scoring games where we actually struggle to run the ball, but actually try to put up. Like, I can see that.
We could lose that game 17-14.
I think the bigger reason why that game could be more challenging is the fact that where it's at and when it's at. So you're talking about the middle of the winter at the Mile High. That's hard to breathe in. Trust me. If anybody live in Colorado, or in that area and has been to that stadium, as a fan, I'm telling you, it's already different up there. The wind, the air, everything different. Put that in the cold, it's a problem.
Right.
Or no.
Right. You playing against basically a person who's thriving in their environment and you out of place. Like, they thrive in that environment. That's what they do.
I'm gonna say this. Don't even play Carry On that game because he gonna be needing a sweater all day.
But you know,
that's a C.J. Anderson, Zach Zenner type game.
Yeah.
Hey y'all.
But I just you know, like I said, I think Denver's gonna be solid, and Vic Fangio will know how to scheme against Stafford.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things where I think Vic is going to do his part as a head coach, but I think when you are in that head coaching position, it's a different beast. I don't think he's going to be so hands-on with the defense. You know, and I know he got Von Miller. I know he got Chubb. I know it. I know all the stuff he got.
Yes, Chris Harris, they got them boys.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be so hands-on as a head coach. There's so many other things he got to worry about.
Well, couldn't you make the same case though for Patricia when he first got here? Wasn't he also defense coordinator and he had to put his hands on a lot of things, but still made time for defense?
Yeah, but here's a difference between Matt Patricia and Vic. Matt Patricia came off a Super Bowl winning season that year and didn't even have a full off season, so he didn't even get to implement most of his stuff. He had to just kind of wing a lot of it and say, listen, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm trying to do. Now, I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just merely telling you what was happening. He was trying to make sure that he got them up to par on what he expected to see and what he was seeing. But I think in the case of Vic is just, you know, he just came off of a horrible playoff loss, and on top of that, he didn't have to worry about making the decisions. He had to just worry about the defense. Now he got to worry about offense, defense, special teams, challenge flags, personnel, everything. It's more that you're going to deal with. I mean, if you don't believe me, go and ask Rob Marinelli. Rob Marinelli went 0-16 with the Lions. He's an amazing defensive coordinator. Some people are just better as coordinators than they are as head coaches.
Ask Jim Schwartz.
Yeah,
I mean, true. And Jeff was another one that did that. Went from coordinator to head coach and got a little overwhelmed, and then went to the coordinator. And you know what I find funny? I was gonna make a video about it, but I'll bring it up now. Isn't it interesting that that Jim Schwartz took a year off, came back like he just reworked his whole vision for his defenses and stuff, and they went to the Super Bowl and won. And here go Darrell Bevell took a year off, and he's coming back. Did he come back with a whole new pen in the pad to get that Super Bowl win for the Lions?
Well, I've been saying this all year with the Eagles. They went 6-10, just like us, after getting a new head coach, and they got so much criticism that offseason. And I was a part of the criticism. And the Eagles got so much criticism the year they won the Super Bowl. If you really remember what was going on in Philly at the time, if you have memory, they got a lot of criticism in the media, and they came out with this great defensive line and great offensive line and a quarterback that was playing great, and they won the Super Bowl regardless of who got injured. So
now Detroit Rage, and shout out to Detroit Rage. He says everyone is seeing this from one side of the ball of the subject, drunk on the defense. Y'all know, I doubt the offense is being considered much in Mile High, and I think he's referring to the Denver Broncos offense. And I never had to worry about, because like I said, they still do got Joe Flacco. So I'm not ready to just, I'm not ready to just give them.
Hey man, Joe Flacco did carve us up though, and when he was a Raven.
I was just about to mention that because it's like it was the same thing with them. I know it's a different time, different head coach, but it was the same thing. They had like one of the worst offenses that
They had the worst offense.
Yeah, and then they still outscored us because the defense and our own mistakes held us down. It's just one of those games. It's not always, because we're more talented, we should easily beat them. But it's the fact of the matter, the area and how the defense kind of coordinates of the mismatch because of where we playing at.
Folks, Dose of Dion is done for the night. He had things to do. I want to say thank you for joining the roundtable tonight. And if you have not subscribed to Dose of Dion 2.0, please do so. Please do so, folks. He's got some great content, and it was a pleasure to have him on the roundtable tonight.
Yeah, hey, that's
right. No problem, man. Thanks for coming on.
Again, we are just trying to send a nice farewell off to the Google Hangout.
Downbird said we beating the Broncos. I hope.
No, I mean, listen, I personally am not. To me, my only thing with the Denver Broncos is when we play them. If the Lions take care of business in the first 2 quarters of the season, those games don't even become factors. Maybe now we do it with Dion talk about and we resting players. So that's how you do it. You got to make sure you are there to do it. I just, to me, it boils down to when you're playing these people, and that's why a lot of people, when we did our way too early predictions, I was like, yeah, we beating the Kansas City Chiefs, and they was like, what? And I'm like, it's week 4 at our house.
Tyreek Hill just got hurt too, so.
You know what? I see a really good question in the chat that just popped up, and that's by Andrew Glenn. He says, Stafford MVP. Do you think that Matthew Stafford could be this year the MVP of the league if he can really turn it up this year?
If they commit to the run?
Well, I'll put it like this. We have to have the best record in the league, so that'd be more than that. Because I think the best record next year would probably be 14. Anybody disagree with that, or you think it's 13 type of year? I think some team will win 14 games. It's been a while since a team has won 14, though.
I mean, but if it's going to be a team to do it, it's going to be New England. That division is weak.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wins off the rip.
I can see New England winning 14 games. Like, that's it.
I mean, in that division, the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins, he go to quarterback. He go to quarterback.
Yeah, but I just think if we lead the league in wins, or if we win 13 plus games, and if we win 13 plus games and we number 1 team in the NFC, he definitely can win MVP, because I think Stafford winning MVP, us winning more than 12 games, all of this is not just us becoming a running football team and all we do is run. Us becoming a passing football team, all we do is pass. If we get to that 13, game win level, that's because the balance of the offense is at an all-time high, just like the Chiefs were, and the Chargers, and the Patriots, and the Rams, those teams, and the Eagles, and even the Cowboys when they got beat by Aaron Rodgers, because they're cowgirls. But it's balanced. So it had to be carry on going for 1,200 or more, and Stafford throwing for 4,500 or something, along
Now,
with the defense playing great.
now,
I think
Detroit Rage says the New England division is hella weak. Chris says Stafford's going to have to win a Super Bowl to get that love. I mean, Mahomes didn't, but he got it, so I get it.
well, no,
Broken Line. Broken
Why
Line.
you gotta do Mahomes? Why you always
I'm
gotta bring
just
up
saying.
Mahomes?
I'm just saying. Broken Lion says, "Don't sleep on the Bills." Luke.
Mahomes won the playoff game,
I'm not sleeping on the Bills. I'm just
though.
awake
Man, Bills suck.
from the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
I'm sleeping on them.
I'm
just
7-9 at
but I'll
best.
say this. I believe it could be 50-50 for Stafford to get it. Sometimes your record and how balanced the offense don't always win it. I think sometimes, man, they go with popularity. Now, on the other hand, though, I think if we do get to the Super Bowl, I do believe he's going to get that Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, I think we gonna make it to the Super Bowl. There's no way Stafford gonna let us lose. I just have that weird feeling in my heart. But General G. Berry made a good point. Every year, it's always some quarterback that's better than Stafford. Well, that's why I said we would have to lead the league in wins for him to win MVP.
Yeah. They somehow contribute winning. Because I remember the year that Cam Newton won it. I was like, yo, he had 9 games where he threw for 180 yards or less and a touchdown or less. But they won by double digits. He didn't even rush for him, and even in that game, I was talking about he had 1 touchdown, and they won by double digits, 9 games. And
Let's talk about the year Matt Ryan won it. I mean, and I'm not talking about what happened in the season. They went 11-5. Like they tailed off throughout the end of the season. I low key felt like a Drew Brees or at the time Tom Brady should have won MVP at the time. But they finished 11-5, and he still got the MVP because their offense was so high powered. But we're not gonna get that kind of love, man.
Now,
we gotta be a show. We gotta be something that they want to put on TV.
Right. Now, Don Bird says, okay, fellas, everybody tell me who's their sleeper team then. Mine's is easy. I got 2 sleeper teams, one for the AFC and one for the NFC. And the NFC, my sleeper team is the Buccaneers. I believe that much in Bruce Arians.
I knew I liked you, Luke.
Dude, man, that dude, Bruce Arians, is not no nothing to play with. That's how much I believe in Bruce Arians. I think the Buccaneers going to scare some people because of Bruce Arians. Now, and then
Stafford.
Well, hey, I'm just saying.
Actually had us losing that game to him, by the way.
I don't know why.
Listen, I think that the Lions should be able to, but I don't put nothing past Bruce Arians. That's a really good coach. That's a really good coach who's underrated. Now in the AFC, the team that I think that people need to pay attention to. Now I don't think they're gonna get the love that they deserve. I don't know. I think it's the Houston Texans. I think that right now a lot of people are overlooking them because Jadeveon Clowney ain't showed up. You got injuries, and you got a little dysfunction. Some of the players not feeling the head coach. So, but for me, those are my 2 teams. I see that General G. Berry got the Lions in the NFC, Jags in the AFC. But to me, the Jags got a different uphill battle because they running back is a head case, and the defense is missing a really good linebacker in Tevin Smith.
Yeah, and the thing about the Jags specifically and Houston, their schedules, especially the Jags, they're so tough. And I know people be like, you can't look at certain teams and be like, this team gonna be bad, but the Jaguars are literally playing every team that it's a 90% chance they're gonna be good next year, and they play all them teams. So it's gonna be really hard for them to be a sleeper team. In the NFC, my sleeper team is actually I would have to go with the Vikings. Believe it or not, I hate the Vikings. I think if Kirk Cousins can stop being trash, and I'm gonna just leave it like that, they could finally do something, and and make the playoffs like over the Bears or something. It's just about, can Kirk Cousins help them win? Like, it's a big question, but if he finally, every quarterback turns a corner eventually. So if he finally, because they coming back loaded on offense, loaded on defense, they fixed their O-line. Basically, you got a loaded offense with an O-line and a good defense and a good running back. They should be a good team on paper. So maybe he gets to get together this year. In the NFC, in the AFC, I got 2 teams. We were just talking about them, the Broncos. I think they're gonna be 10-6 and make a wild card. and the Baltimore Ravens. I think a lot of people sleeping on Baltimore and what they're gonna do in that division that they were in. The Steelers, I don't really have that much faith in. The Browns, they're a little bit overhyped. And I think the Ravens and all the moves that they've been making, all the weapons they surrounded Lamar Jackson, they still got the coach they got. So that's just a really underestimated factor, I feel. And I think that Ravens and the Broncos definitely going to do something.
Dang it, JMO, you steal my AFC team, man. I was going to go Ravens as well. Again, my twin.
Hey, man, it's the Ravens, bro. Go ahead.
Well, again, man, I think Lamar Jackson can really help out, solidify the quarterback for that team and do much better than Joe Flacco and help sustain a better team overall. Obviously, I would say the NFC is the Detroit Lions, but I'm not going to do that right now because simply that's an easy pick to do. So,
well, I mean, we assuming that the Lions is going to win the division, so that's why we're not talking about it.
Right?
Absolutely,
you can't call them a sleeper if you thinking they're going to win.
Right.
Well, for the team, I think that could have a better season than what people give them credit for is the San Francisco 49ers.
I was waiting for somebody to say the 49ers. I was going to say them.
I was going to say they can really upgrade that. They upgraded that defensive line, and Garoppolo, if he can stay healthy, that could really help that team out. Again, he was injured last year. The only problem with that is their division is very hard, man. I mean, they got the Rams as well as the Seattle Seahawks, but I think they can do a lot better than what people give them credit for, and I wouldn't sleep on them.
I mean, they're both good picks. I ain't mad at you. The only thing is about the 49ers, both in my opinion, got injury issues. Garoppolo got injury issues. I believe I saw something where Tevin Coleman hurt himself.
I would like to believe in them, but I think their division is I don't see three teams coming out that division.
Nah, man, you got the Rams over there. You
got the Rams and the Seahawks. It's just too much.
Scary division, man. I know they obviously play each other hard, but it's so hard to give a playoff spot to one of those when I feel like definitely in Seattle and the Rams, they have a chance to make the playoffs for sure this year.
Only division I can see three teams coming out of is the AFC West and then the division in the NFC South. But I still don't think that's gonna happen with those divisions either.
Nomis, did you want to jump on this and who's your team?
Yeah, originally I was gonna say San Francisco, but I'll go with the other team that we are low key sleeping on. That could be the Redskins.
I wanted to say them, but go.
That's a very good one.
That is a good one.
I just think it's primarily due because we got a running back that's probably coming back that nobody knows what to expect out of him because he was hurt last year for his rookie season. And really, to me, nobody really knows them. Like, you kind of know the Eagles, you kind of know what the Cowboys come with, and you kind of know what the New York Giants are going to come with. But nobody kind of is paying attention to the Redskins like that. And I just think they're going to be that surprise team that's really going to pitch up, at least be the number 2 seed in that division.
I have picked them going 8-8. People call me crazy. But if you look at the roster and their defense, Redskins on roster-wise, they actually have a lot of talent over there.
Yeah. And for the AFC team, I'm sticking with the Broncos. If I had to go to a side note though, outside of the Broncos, I would give some love to the Jets because I think although on both sides of the ball that they're still trying to develop more, I think they're going to kind of get there eventually. I can see them actually being like the second team in that division for some reason.
I just feel like until Bill Belichick retire, I don't even look at that division. Listen, 16 seasons. 16 seasons they've had a record of 10 wins or more. And it's because that division never seemed to get it right. They had 1 year where Rex Ryan got it right, and when it counted the most, it didn't go down.
Right.
So that's just my view on it. But man, let's get back to our Lions, man.
Here's a question that can relate to that, and we'll definitely get back to the Lions. For the Lions schedule, who is the team that we should not be just sleeping on and thinking it's an easy W? What's the team that we should really look forward to and and worry that maybe we could drop an L to them because they're underrated. What do you think, JMO? What is a team that is on our schedule that we do not want to sleep on and we think is going to be an easy win?
I know Luke was talking about the Buccaneers, and I don't think the Redskins will be an easy win. That's like an honorable mention, but this team is going to surprise everyone on the round table and everyone in the chat. I'm going with the Oakland Raiders. I really think I don't think we're losing the game, but I think that's going to be a tough one possession to 10-point game just because of the crossing over and, you know, Antonio Brown and their weapons. And nobody really knows what's going on with that team, really, honestly, because they got Cleveland Farrell over Quinn Williams and all this other stuff. But and I'm not saying I think they're going to be a good team. I just think that's going to be one of the wins that's not going to be easy against a bad team. And we'll be facing them being a good team, and they gonna fight their hearts out over there in their home. But I still think we're gonna pull it out. But I think that team might give us a little bit of scare, at least in the first half or something like that.
Luke, what do you think, man? What's a team that we should not be sleeping on in a schedule this year? Maybe they may have different matchups that will hurt us. Is it because of an away game? Is it weather inclement? What up, though, man? Beast Morris back in the game. Luke G, what do you think, man?
The Giants. Yeah, I know. It sounds crazy, right? The Giants of all teams. But if you just go through and you look at that game, okay, just look at that game. We get to be at home and get the Giants. But for some reason, I remember going to a game where the Lions were the favorite against the Giants. Giants had a bunch of injuries, and the only difference was one of those injuries wasn't the quarterback. But I think by this time, it would have had the rookie in playing for him. And I think that right there would be something that would be hard to prepare for, especially with that tight end Ingram. And then you got Saquon. And if they get smart and play small ball, you know, I could see the Giants kind of being a little bit of a threat. Them and the Bucs, them the two teams that Bruce Arians, man, that dude for real.
So you think the Giants could do a Bears thing like they did with Chase Daniel?
Not necessarily do like a Bears thing with Chase Daniel. I think if you go through, you just look at the offense, you look at the defense, right? And you ask yourself where the matchups are. At that point in the season, I can see that being one of the games where the team can overlook them. And when you overlook people, that's when they sneak up and hit you in the mouth. But I also think that Daniel Jones is going to be at the quarterback right then. It's not going to be Eli Manning. And now you got a quarterback to get some good play. Hopefully, that's what they're thinking. And then you still got Saquon Barkley, a tight end. Golden Tate, obviously, you know, I think he's going to win his appeal on his suspension. And, you know, they could be a bit of a threat from that standpoint.
Man Beast, since you have not had a lot of time to speak and you went in and out, what do you think, man? Give us opinion on the schedule and the team to really look and say, hey, we can't sleep on them.
Well, obviously.
Okay, so
yeah, I don't know what's going on.
My bad, man. Like, my girl just called me.
Oh,
but yeah, like I was saying, the one team is obviously the Broncos, obviously, but then the other team is maybe the Redskins. The Giants, I'm not scared of the Giants, man. I'm sorry, they weak.
No. Nobody is saying be afraid of them, but it's saying that we shouldn't sleep on it, because I believe that if we sleeping on them and we overlooking them, for some reason the Lions have done that before. They've overlooked the team, and you'd be like, bro, y'all don't sleep on them. Like we all slept on the Jets.
It's the Giants. I'm not really scared. I'm more scared, like I said, of the Raiders or the Redskins. It's just like they're going to be such a run-of-the-mill team. Now, they're a great team.
Patricia going to have them prepared for the Giants, man. I'll tell you that. They're going to destroy the Giants. Watch.
You gotta be careful though with that one, because I think it's almost like they're playing the possum kind of role. They expect us to come there kind of confident, beat them. They're still a defensive minded team, and now that they're trying to add the aspect of running the ball, as we've seen them do last year, we still have to be wary of that. If you look at their receivers, okay, fine, I'm not scared of them, or fine, okay, sleep, but you can't just assume that we got in the bag. Like they do know how to construct a defense, and that's what they're trying to get back to their roots, and that's winning through defense. That's kind of why, even though you can say it's stupid, I could understand why they felt bump it, go ahead, trade Odell, because it's like you can't win with this guy on the team. Why keep trying to force him just because he's a great receiver? And it's like if they're trying to switch to a new identity, which is an attack defense now, along with running the ball, that can surprise some teams out there. We even done that before back in the 11 days. So
it's not like I don't disagree with anything you just said, but I'm gonna just be arrogant. I ain't worried about no Giants. We gonna whoop on them. And I think it's because of offense. I don't know how they're gonna stop our offense, and how is their offensive line gonna stop our defensive line? But it's Detroit Drew. What's your sleeper team, man? You still in the building, man? What's up?
My sleeper team, or who the guys the Lions shouldn't sleep on?
Either one.
Okay, well, I'm taking.
Because I don't think you did your sleeper teams either. So do both.
Okay. Well, for the Lions, I don't think they have earned the right to sleep on anybody. They can't take any 16 games off.
Yeah.
Maybe if they were New England, maybe they earned that right. But they have not done enough to even consider taking a game off or overlooking anyone. For my sleeper teams, though, I'm going Tampa. That's my second team. I lived in Tampa for the first 2 years of my life, so I always kind of grew up a Tampa Bay fan. So they're always my sleeper team. For the AFC, I think the Steelers have been overlooked. I think that they got better by subtraction. At least the locker room got better for them. Talent-wise, they slipped away.
True.
But I like the Jets, man. They can always run the ball, and now they have one of the best running backs in the league. So it's going to be fun for them to see what they can do with Le'Veon.
The team that I don't want to sleep on, and it has nothing to do with skill. It has nothing to do with matchups because I think our team is far superior to them. It just has to do with, for whatever reason, we always suck against this team, and that's the Buffalo Bills. Man, it seems like every year when we play them, we always lose by 1 point. And
I don't think we played them this year, though.
Yeah. Don't we?
Oh.
What? Or is that the preseason that I was seeing that?
Yeah,
that's the preseason. We don't play them this year.
Okay, well, I'm happy now. Next.
Yeah, that is one of the teams that when we last year when I was doing my channel and DVE, we were doing hangouts. That was the one team we like, man, Buffalo gonna end up beating us, and we all discussed it just like we were discussing the Broncos right now. We just knew we was gonna lose that game, and we did.
Yeah. If I had to say, though, my sleeper team definitely would be Tampa Bay because I have seen too many times where Tampa Bay plays.
I'm in Tampa Bay a little bit too much.
No, it's not. It's not about what I think they have or Bruce Arians. It's just I've seen this team play other teams make it look totally pathetic. But some reason, I guess they used to be our divisional rival or something like that a long time ago. So they still have a knack of just being. But like even that time, I remember we like beat them like 34-17, like 2014. That still was kind of just getting on our nerves in that game. Like they play us so crazy. It's almost like the Bears and how the Vikings do sometimes, man. When we beat them, it's like they know how to play us. And it's not always about how good their defense or offense is. It's just they just know us. And it's just I feel like that's what
Carolina Panthers is my sleeper team since we go into the NFC South. I like the Panthers a lot.
So I'm gonna change the subject to completely off here. So how well do you grade Bob Quinn's performance this year? And we're talking grades from A through F. Luke, what do you grade Bob Quinn's offseason moves that he's made, everything that he's done so far, and how do you compare him against other general managers in the NFL?
For me, when I look at the comparison, it's hard to do because I feel like he came into a bit of a different situation. But as far as the grade, just for this offseason, it's amazing to me where we win the free agent battle. All the top players we picked up. We got the number one DN, number one tight end. You just keep going down the list. Look in the draft. You just keep adding on in the draft. Then you do such a good job with these contracts that you get with taking the number one slot cornerback that was out there that you had money left over. The minute the Green Bay Packers got foolish and started feeling themselves about Rashawn Gary, boom, you swoop right in and pick them up. Like seriously. And that to me is where I look at it and I'm like, I look at it and I just say, yo, this dude is doing his thing. I mean, look at this. You just heard me earlier talk about we got injuries and I'm not even sweating. In the past, we got an injury and I'd be like, okay, now listen, who's coming out in free agency? You just saw me over there like I was at the stock exchange. I'm pulling out papers. Okay, who got $1? $1 on 6? Oh, I mean, it was crazy. So to me, to see this level of depth that he's built, to be able to see Matt Patricia riding around, having fun, making jokes, laughing, it's a whole new atmosphere. It's an A grade for me, bar none. He's done a phenomenal job this offseason. It's just up to the head coach to put it together.
Yeah, man, that's
We got Detroit's on Big Will in the building. Was good.
What up,
Big
Will?
Will? Yeah, I'm gonna just jump into this one because I give it a solid. I give it an A plus, and the reason I say this is nearly every move that he has made this team so much better and competitive. I've never seen anything like this when it comes to the Lions. They've made every move right, and even when it comes to financial equation involved, he killed it with the cap. So for him to do all these type of moves when it get these free agents and picking up individuals that fit the scheme and doing it while making the cap financially sound is an A plus to me. I've never seen anything like this, and compared to the other general managers in the NFL, man, I'm going to give him for this offseason, I'd give him top 5. So far in the last couple of years, I'd say top 10. He's really made depth on this team. He is drafted so well. The drafting is how you build a franchise, and his ability to find these players in the later rounds is so better than what I've ever seen before. It's literally like teams like the New England Patriots you've seen get great players in the later rounds, and Bob Quinn is doing that philosophy, and it's working. Detroit Drew, what do you think, man? What are your grade you're going to give Bob Quinn? And give me your thoughts on this.
He is probably the best thing to ever happen to the Lions. I cannot remember a time where, as a fan base, we have been this excited for a season. He is the best, man. You can't say one bad thing about him. Obviously, I'm giving him an A. You know, all those guys who said we can't get big name free agents or draw anybody in here, we proved everybody wrong. And, you know, it's not like he's not getting guys who can't perform. I mean, we have some of the most efficient players in the league on our team. It's incredible. I love everything Bob Quinn has done. And he's shutting up all the haters year by year. When you get better year by year, everyone starts to hop on, buy in. It's only a matter of time before this team really starts to take off.
Absolutely, man. Mr. Merry Christmas himself, no Miss J. What's your grade for Bob Quinn this year?
I have to give it a
Merry Christmas himself.
Rope, boat, no miss. What? 313 JMO. While he tries to fix his mic and his connectivity, what do you think, man? What's your rating?
Hello.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, man. Are you back?
Hello?
Are you back?
Yeah.
Okay, give us your opinion, man. We're hearing Robo no miss.
Okay. Yeah. I give him A. Due to the fact of the matter is you have to look at what he's doing on each part of the position.
Robo no miss. Hold up a second. I need you to start
Hold
over.
up, no miss. You're Robo no miss. I'm gonna just throw it to JMO quick while you get your internet situated. What do you think, 313 JMO?
Well, I mean, not just this season, but in totality, I give him an A because I just don't understand. How do you get Trey Flowers to come to this team? And then how do you fix our horrible cap to the point where we can get a Mike Daniels just nothing and still have tons of money with releasing Theo Riddick? how do you finally draft a running back that runs over 100 yards in a game? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you drafted a receiver that can fill Calvin Johnson's shoes, being a number one with Matthew Stafford and Kenny Galladay. You got T.J. Hawkinson, and you've always found diamonds in the rough like Romeo Okwara, and you just changed the culture of this team. Like, and you have you put a higher standard on this team. And when I think about Bob Quinn, I just look at the cap and I look at the roster and I look at the draft classes and look at the guys that he's able to bring in the later rounds, like a Deshaun Hand, like a Jamal Agnew, like guys in the later rounds that turn out to produce. And I would give him an A. He's done an excellent job. It's been some things that I didn't like that he did, like, the whole Antoine Williams situation, the whole Tion Green situation, then you go get LeGarrette Blount. It's a few things, but all in all, he's been great when it comes to building a team. Like, we don't have a problem right now. Why? Because Bob Quinn built depth. That's why we don't have a problem with injuries or have a lot more confidence, like Drew was saying, than we've had in a lot of years. Well, because when you build depth on a football team and then you load up the quarterback with weapons, you start to see the continuity. And we just trying to build a culture and everybody do their job. And Bob Quinn's been doing his job. Like I said, Master Chef Bob Quinn. And don't worry, he ain't done. He about to cook up some more.
Absolutely, man. He's definitely not done. The guy is literally taking every shot he can to upgrade this roster, and it's insane. Again, how he never rests, it feels like. He is an individual that's looking at every single player, whether it be coming out of college, whether it be a veteran, that fits our scheme, and he's constantly putting more depth on this team. It's wild. It's wild, and I'm very happy that he's our general manager. Again, I concur with the A plus rating for sure. And I think all the success that he had when it come to drafting the last couple of years is really going to pay off this year. Having the draft players like last year, like Terrell Crosby, that's going to jump in the offensive line, in my opinion, hopefully this year and eventually take over for right tackle. He's not just looking for the now, he's looking for the next 5 years. And again, I got my degree in business and economics. And when it comes to creating a business, you never think about just the first year. You think about year 1. You have thoughts on year 5. You have thoughts on year 10. You're constantly innovating. You're constantly looking past the now. And that creates a winning culture. That creates a successful business. That creates what exactly Bob Quinn said he was going to do when he started here day one. And he's done a masterful job. He absolutely has done a masterful job. Nomis, are you back up in here, man?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, man. What's your grade with Bob Quinn and how well he's doing?
I gotta give it an A. Due to some fact of the matter of, if you examine properly everything he's done, he's gotten players that fits the exact mold of what the coach is looking for, and that's what he does. When you look at Trey Flowers, when you look at Mike Daniels, who he surprisingly got, when you look at some of the what do they have in common? They can all get after the run. You got Snacks here do a trade. You got Ashawn Robinson, who you drafted years ago. Now you're expecting him to step up more. You got a lot of guys who have an identity for what the defense needs. The system, which helped the system evolve more, which is why you see a player like Mike Daniels saying he wants to be here. And even when it comes to the offensive line, you got people who are still scared about it. Well, what Bob Quinn is doing is trying to wait to the preseason and see what are these guys going to flourish finally or not, so he can get some investment out of those draft picks. If you notice, that's what we have. A lot of those guys being former draft picks. So he wants to get the full investment before he goes and spend more money on a free agent. That's why I'm glad he didn't go out right and trying to draft or get some big name corner out of free agency, because he may feel, due to the scheme, that they may play good because they know him. So familiarity helps a lot, and they use that as their advantage to get what they need. And that could also, in turn, get more players down the line due to future years to keep this team consistent. if we start finally winning some games. So I had to give him an A for that.
Yeah, I mean, and to me, I think that's what it boils down to. You know, I think everything Norman's hit on is where you want to put your attention to. You want to put your attention to the fact that he's come in and done things that we have not seen general managers do. Like, you know that he's drafted for a scheme. You know that he has a plan, direction, and all these different things. And you see those little small things. And when you see them, it's like, yo, I see what you did this for. In the past, people like Mike Daniels would have sat up there and been on free agency. Look at the Detroit Lions. Ask yourself this question. Why does Mike Daniels want to come to a team that he's seen for almost 7 years and still want to come here? Now, part of y'all going to say because he want to play Green Bay. That's part of it. But the major part of it is this. He got offers from 13 other teams. 13 other teams that was willing to offer him more money. He said, nope, I'm coming over here. He says, because Matt Patricia's a genius. Well, Bob Quinn and them doing over there, we taking notice. The rest of the league took notice. And that's the most important part of what you got to see. And I think that's a good point.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I got another question here, and it's a different type of question, but I want to talk about what we've been hearing about Danny Amendola this camp so far. We've been hearing a lot of good things about Danny Amendola having a good rapport with Matthew Stafford. And how many yards, and I'll start with J-Mo, how many yards do you believe Danny Amendola is going to get this year, and what will be his best impact when it comes to our team?
Well, I look at each Lions team differently this year from an offensive and defensive perspective. Based on what I think the offense is going to be, I don't think it's going to be as many opportunities for him just because I think Jesse James and Marvin Jones and Hockenson and Kenny Galladay, they're going to be ahead of him on the depth chart when it comes to getting passes, and I think they are going to get those passes and they're going to flourish. So I would say 500 yards, maybe 50 catches, converting a lot of third downs, and how many touchdowns? I'll give him 4 touchdowns, maybe 5 touchdowns. It's because with this team, he doesn't have to have those big numbers. Like, if we didn't have TJ Hockenson and just brought in Jesse James, then, we didn't have an Isaiah Nuwata or something like that, then I could see him getting 800 yards and, 7 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns. But it's so many weapons on the team, and you got Kerryon Johnson is going to be almost half the offense. So I think he's going to get, 500 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns, and just filling his role, converting those third downs. But in the playoffs, though, I expect him to get at least 50 yards a game, no matter what. In the playoffs, I think he's going to be way more of a bigger target in the playoffs.
All right, now listen up, folks. We got 79 thumbs up. Can we hit 80 and get above it? I want to hit 80.
Make sure you like the video, y'all.
Make sure we get this thing over 80 thumbs up and get above it so we can keep making sure that this content is put out there. I'm telling y'all, I don't think many of y'all understand how this YouTube thing works. This thing is strange and weird. Is YouTube is set up for quantity, not quality. Okay. So if you can you can literally become a YouTube king if you drop 30 videos every day. Literally. They don't even gotta mean that. You can literally just do a video, 2 videos a day about alphabets, and you can grow. But to put out quality, it takes a different set, and that's where the thumbs ups come in at, and that's what gets this video out for those who want quality material. If you're looking for quantity, this ain't that type of show. We're about quality.
Absolutely. And
we are up 81, so that's what's up.
Yeah, and it's cool, man. We got 81 now likes, and we just got 2 dislikes a minute ago. Hey, it's all good, man. I appreciate you taking your time and clicking this. I think I have an idea who it is or who they are, but it's all good, man. Detroit Drew.
Yes,
Detroit
sir.
Drew, man. When it comes to Amendola, man, what's the impact he's going to have? And how well do you think he's going to be utilized on this offense?
I'm not sure if he's going to have a bigger impact than Kirsch or not, but really the two big boys for the receivers is still going to be Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay. He's going to be that third, fourth option depending on how well Kirsch is working out, which I haven't heard anything about Kirsch in
I don't
training
know if
camp
Kurt's
yet.
going to even make the team.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking.
And
I
I
seen they
heard
did an interview with him,
that.
and I kind of forgot that we picked him up. To be honest with you, but yeah, he's going to be that guy when they start double teaming Galladay once he starts having his breakout season. He'll get some chump change yards. He's going to be old reliable. He's not going to drop passes or nothing. He should have around 750 yards, maybe 6-7 TDs. I mean, nothing too crazy. He'll probably be more utilized in the red zone with TJ Hawkinson. But he's just there really for his leadership to show these young guys how it's supposed to be.
Absolutely. Nomis, man, what do you think, man?
I think if he stays healthy, I'll put him between, far as yardage go, like 450 to 500. I'll go about 7 touchdowns, about 6-7 touchdowns, due to the fact of the availability he may be in the red zone, like Drew was saying. But like his catches should be about 40 to 50, because due to the fact if they have another young receiver that they're going to test some slot, I think they will treat the offense how they do the defense and give mismatches as well, not just only running the ball, but when they throw the passes, they may put certain guys in other spots to get certain matchups. So I could see them spreading the ball around, having certain players in the slot outside of just Danny Amendola. You know what I mean? And I think that's why he's been so crucial on the locker room development, because he knows he's there to kind of really coach these guys up. So you never know. You may see where Galladay is getting rest. Fulham, if he's on roster, he could be in the slot, or Marvin could be in the slot, and then Fulham will be one receiver deep, and they might throw some tight ends in the midst. You know how they can do it. And I feel like that's my prediction for what he'll do for them if he stays healthy.
Absolutely.
Can I ask, why are you doing this if he stays healthy, man?
I always do that.
I was about to say he's played 15 games the last few years. So I'm just saying he ain't been missing a lot of games.
Well, I do want to point this one comment out in the chat. I hate to interrupt you, gentlemen, moment, but Marcel Edwards says, "Here's why I love you guys even more. Along with you speaking facts, you did something great to me. You made my wife believe in Stafford. Do you know how hard that was to do? She loves your guys' work. Man, shout out to you." She said, "And after
Wait, you said we made his wife what, Stafford?"
No, Marcel Edwards said we made his wife, literally made his wife, actually believe in Matthew Stafford."
Wow, that's a woman too. So that's legit right there.
And here's the thing: he says, not only that, she loves what we do. So shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Edwards, man. Please make sure y'all tell a friend and tell a friend.
No, shout out to y'all for real, man. Wow, that's a great story, man. I like that, man. We just trying to be positive and just tell the facts and tell the truth, because the media lies and they doing it for views and paychecks. That's not what we doing it for. We doing it to give you that good content and educate the Lions fans base and just let them know what's really going on and how they should be looking at things.
Right. I mean, and the truth is this. The truth is the whole purpose of this was to be able to do what? Give unbiased, fair media to our teams, and to show those other outlets that your negative narratives with your weak stories will not fly here, because we know it's not true. I mean, just look at the average Free Press or Detroit News Lions story and how many thumbs downs it get, but they just keep on writing. Mm-hmm. Nobody's there to compete against them. So competition is a good thing, but I just wanted people to understand how this thing works. All of us here got jobs, and we can't produce 8 videos a day. It's just not possible. So we have to make sure that we give y'all quality, and that's where we want to be.
Absolutely, man.
And
Absolutely.
we do want to bring in the Lions fans that are pessimistic. You know, the Lions fans that have been listening to 97.1 and these other media outlets and sources, because just like you said, it's no competition. So you're only hearing one thing. And not only are you hearing one thing, you're hearing the wrong thing. And, you know, that's what we're just trying to do, just open people's eyes to, you know, a different perspective, and let people know it's not so cut and dry. It's not so black and white. Everything isn't so simple. And the game of football is pretty simple. You run the football, you play good on special teams, you play good on offense and defense, and have good coaching and management.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have those 6 things.
And
if you have 2 of the 6, you're not gonna be successful.
Absolutely,
and just
man.
to add to that, you know, just because we try to offer like the fair side that nobody cares to hear about, doesn't mean we won't criticize when we have to.
No.
It's just that
Wait till
until it's further notice. Yeah, it's just till further notice, guys. When it's time to criticize, we will do that. But we want to make sure you guys understand the difference between criticism and just playing crazy. Like, you know,
we've always criticized in situations,
right,
too.
and it's
especially
like
J-Mo.
It's like, you know, it's bad media to say, hey, Trey Flowers is the number 1 free agent. A lot of teams are looking for him. As soon as the Lions sign him, then first thing 97 want to do is play it down. And it's not crazy to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because now we got the player.
Well, anyways, man. Yeah, I'm gonna touch and join topic on that and kind of go with this, because this is very important, folks. And I seen a chat in there and a message saying I don't even watch the cable news anymore, and I'm with you there, man. I think there's so much negativity that it wears the fan base down, it wears the players down, it wears everything down, because negativity does that. And I feel that when it comes to bringing positive news and positive vibe, that can really help out the fan base and the team itself. The legacy media is dying. They are dying. No one wants to hear the same old, I hate Detroit, blah, blah, blah. It gets old. It gets old. And to have individuals see that there is another way to look at news, there's another way to look at stats when it comes to the Lions, and that's individuals on YouTube, like the Detroit Sports Alliance. Like, we spend a lot of time making videos, looking up statistics, looking at film, like film review. We do all this stuff specifically because we are seeing the exact opposite of what the legacy media is saying. We see that the Lions can really make big noise this year. They don't see it. They just like hate, because hate is clickbait. Clickbait gets views. And I love this idea of destroying the narrative and all these people coming together as one to give you guys quality content and to join a movement that's grassroots based and change the culture and change the culture. Because it does start with us, as well as the players and the facility and the Lions and Ford Field, everything together. We have to change the culture. And it's important we do this. And it's important to give you guys the information that you want, you need, and you crave. With that said, folks, we've been on for nearly 2.5 hours. And I would like to do some last words. So I'll go ahead and throw it to Nomis J. Nomis J, what do you got to say to the folks out there as we wrap this bad boy up?
Yeah, I just have to say this, man. It's been a wild time for me being a video maker. I haven't been the most successful person at video making, but, you know, ever since I linked up with DVE and still part of, shout to them because they're on our side as well, along with the Outsiders and the other sports group out there, man. We all want to bring the fair content that gives us light. And the fact that I have for the last couple of years been able to be a part of the hangout chats with these guys and now DSA, and you know, for it to come to a close now, you know, for them to move on, it's funny now. So stick with us. We're gonna still bring out that fair, unbiased content, and you know, check out all of us and subscribe to all the DSA and DVE members out here, man. We you know, King and Man Bisu still here as well. Dos Dion, who left earlier, of course, the gentleman on the podcast with me right now, and myself, because I'm still looking for that date, and I gotta say, all the people who are in the chat and like this video, I gotta say, wherever you believe in and wherever you do believe in, bless you for it. May that Lord bless you for looking out for us and keeping us wanting to do this, and G now being out of jail, and it's just this should be hopefully looking up more for the future. And bless the gentleman again on this podcast, and thank y'all and have a good one.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. My twin, the great one, J-Mo. Tell the folks your last words and go ahead, man.
I just want to let everyone know we will be back on Thursday and the next Tuesday and Thursday.
Report
So
that.
this is just the end of the Google Hangouts, man. Like y'all always know, man. Like I say, my first video, everything King and Monterey Moore and Man Beast and Nomis and all the guys were supporting, man. And it's just a good thing we doing, we building. DSA is growing stronger. And I just love everything that's going on. Training camp it's been fun, it's been exciting. Everything we've been doing in the off season has been nothing short of, exhilarating. So this is another week, man, in the Roundtable. This is another week of the Lions, and let's pay attention to the training camp and the interviews. And I got some videos still coming for y'all. Make sure you subscribe to 313 JMO and check those videos out. And I do want to say it's about changing the narrative and the mentality and building something great and being consistent. Because really, that's all we need. As the Lions franchise, we need to build something that's great, one, and something that's two, consistent. And that's what we're trying to build. And I think it's going pretty well. Shout out to Pride Time B. I see him in the chat. Shout out to Crimson Shadow. And it's always fun to come here and talk to all of the guys. Make sure you subscribe to Detroit Drew and CA3 Sports Talk and Micro Mike and Nomis J and Luke G Field Review and Man Beast Morris and Noble Sports Entertainment, man. Make sure you subscribe to every single person. Make sure you subscribe to 313 JMO, man, and Positively Detroit. And everybody, man, like I said, we here every week. We're gonna be back on Thursday. This is what we do, man.
This is how we do. Detroit Drew, man.
Yeah, man, that's how it is, man.
For my final thoughts, I thought I'd give everyone the inside scoop about Luke G and his story he told earlier about the crazy girl. That was the last white girl he ever dated.
Are you exposing me, Drew?
I'm just letting people know how white people will be. Gotta represent my kind.
Hey.
You got some explaining to do when we go off air.
I got you.
It happened, man.
Hey, he did it. He did it.
The fact that Drew knew she was white and he still ain't saying nothing.
I ain't saying nothing, bro. I don't see colors. I just go. Hey, I see people.
I'll take. I know white people for 500.
It's like you know that was a white person. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
If they can breathe, I'm good.
I wouldn't live by that motto, but all right.
Y'all are silly. But go ahead,
right.
Drew, man.
Yeah, go ahead, Drew, man.
No, it was a good show, man. You guys got a good thing going on with the Roundtable. You guys know your Lions football. It's going to be a good season. It cannot start soon enough for me, man. I'm ready to start tailgating and partying and having a good time. 16-0, we got this.
Luke G, Field General. What do you got for the folks in the chat?
I mean, listen, man. Micro Mike just keeps setting records every single time, and it's all because of you people. There's no way we can get 88 thumbs up without 88 people being in the chat. Okay? That is huge. We need that kind of turnout. We need that type of love, that type of support, because the DSA and these gentlemen on the DSA are for the people. We are for the Lion fan base who are looking for factual Detroit Lions and NFL news, as well as Detroit Pistons and Tigers and whatever else. Now, if you're somebody who really loves the Detroit Tigers and you really love the Detroit Red Wings and you want to be a part of the DSA, but you don't know how to start a YouTube channel, reach out to any one of the guys on DSA. We will teach you and get you up to speed to get you going to talk about those things and to be a part of the DSA. But the most important thing I want to say to you guys is do not be confused. We are not going anywhere. In fact, we're coming back Thursday, bigger, better than ever. Okay. All facts, less opinions. That's where we're trying to get ourselves to. And we just want to make sure that it's known that the DSA, along with DVE, Outsiders, all of the other people like Everything King, Pride Time B, Man Beast Morris, all these people who come out and they put their time and their heart into this thing, we all get one common goal, and that's to see our teams win and to do it well. Now, in order for us to do that, we got to be able to be one pride and be able to be one accord. With that being said, I leave you all with this one piece of information. Don't be no chump, please. Please do your research.
Folks, I appreciate you guys taking the time and coming on the show and supporting the DSA. I am so humbled to see all these people show up and listen to our content. It's humbling. It's very humbling, and all the kind words and everything that you guys have done for the DSA, it's outstanding, man. It's outstanding. We're changing something here, and it's a grassroots movement, and we're all one pride, and you're all with us, man. And so it's very awesome. It's a very awesome to see. And when it comes to stuff going down Thursday, going to keep going. Make sure to watch on Luke G's channel, as well as Friday, folks. I'll be in Detroit with my boy 313 JMO, my twin, and also Dose of Dion. So we got some good stuff coming up. Make sure that you are all here and continue this movement. With that said, folks, adios.